back on top, 1 point behind heading into action tonight. The Saguenayens are playing the Cataracts, tough team at home. That game in Shawinigan. Moncton has won 4 in a row. And against the Eagles, this is meeting number 8, 6-1 on the year against Cape Breton. Big win on Sunday here at the Avenir. Tommy Blyle, a goal and 2 assists. Nico Turnus had 2, giving him 41 as the Cats beat the St. John Sea Dogs 6-3. In goal for the Wildcats tonight, Jacoby Weiner. Veteran Felix Sabel gets the call for the Eagles. Moncton will be off to Newfoundland tomorrow. The big weekend matchup battling the regiment on Saturday night and Sunday afternoon. And then the home and home next weekend. Friday, we're in Charlottetown. And Saturday at 4, the big one here at the Avenir Fan Appreciation Day. And honoring the outgoing 20-year-old Wildcats. That's a very special weekend next weekend, but a lot of games in between starting tonight with Cape Breton, again, 8th and final meeting on the year, and the Cats are 6-1. Wild Minute brought to you by Volkswagen Moncton, right across from the airport. Enjoy the game. When you need the empty netter, Aiden, he's the man out there, Preston Lounsbury.
Oh, well, he does it all for this club, Marty. Both sides of the ice, a real contributor. And
congratulations, Preston, and thank you again,
school work
Sarah
there as
Noseworthy.
he puts in the effort there behind the scenes.
All right, JR, Sarah Noseworthy leaving the ice at center at the Avenir Center. Moncton looking for 5 in a row. There's only one home game left,
Ladies
folks,
and gentlemen,
this.
at this time, tonight is our New Brunswick Organ and Tissues Donation Program Awareness Night game. Ce soir, c'est le match pour commémorer la Société des dons d'organes et tissus. It's dedicated in the memory of Merv Sims, a leader, athlete, mentor, and above all, a man defined by generosity. Nearly 1 year ago, after a courageous battle with multiple systems atrophy, Merv made a final powerful decision. Through organ donation, he gave 3 people the gift of life. And one of these recipients is here with us tonight. Merv was a proud Atlantic Canadian, a former Moncton High Purple Knight, a UNB engineering graduate, and someone who helped shape hockey and business across our region. But this greatest legacy is simple. He gave to his family, to his community, and in the end, to strengthen those who met. We are honored to have Merv's family with us tonight. His sons Matt and Mark, along with his granddaughter Ellington, will drop the puck for tonight's ceremonial face-off, along with New Brunswick Organs and Tissues Program's Administrative Regional Director, Brittany Nicholson. In Merv's spirit, we encourage everyone to consider registering as an organ donor. One decision can save lives. So please join us in honoring the life and legacy of Merv Sims. Let's welcome the 2 team captains to center ice. Les 2 capitaines, s'il vous plaît, au centre de la patinoire pour la mise en jeu officielle du match de ce soir.
Thank you, JR. And actually, Brittany Nicholson will be coming up to join us on the Intermissions, the NB Organ Tissue Program. She is the regional coordinator, and she'll be up on one of our intermissions tonight to talk more about the program. Alex Mercier at center ice, Caleb Denoyer, number 18, number 16 for the Eagles, the 20-year-old veteran Lucas Romeo. The traditional handshake will get the national anthem going here shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please stand. If you're able, as Clintar Commercial Outdoor Services presents our national anthem, led by Dominique Melançon, along with organist Lyndon Steves, presented by Thermo King. Mesdames et messieurs, debout s'il vous plaît pour notre hymne national et joignons-nous maintenant avec Dominique Melançon.
The beautiful voice of Dominique Melançon. Another home run here at the Avenir Center. Yeah, the home games are whittling down, Mr. Glendenning. We got one to go. Next Saturday is the Big Fan Appreciation. We honor the outgoing 20-year-olds. A lot of hockey in between. We're going to follow Chicoutimi and Shawinigan very closely tonight. That 1-point lead by the Sags getting a little annoying. We got to jump over that, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, well, tonight here it's a big one, and the Cats are going back to Jacoby Weiner, who's coming off a big win there against the Sea Dogs there just this past Sunday, winning that one by a score of 6-3. Weiner's now up to 7-0 since the end of the trade period. And he has the best save percentage in the league during that span at a .934. So this guy is absolutely on fire for this club and in the league in his respective right. On the other side, we've got Felix Hamel, who came in here during the last matchup last week and lost 5-1, but made some big saves. And for him and the coaching staff with Jason Clark, it's just about bouncing back. They're going to be dealing with a little bit of adversity here, like we mentioned. They're without Roman L'Italien and Will Murphy for the rest of the season, and tonight they are going to be missing their captain and Louis Gendra. So some adversity for the Eagles, looking to get as many points as they can. And on the other side, the Cats look to continue their dominance and jump ahead of Chicoutimi, like you said.
Yeah, that home ice means a lot. Right now, Cape Breton and Quebec are 4 points back of Charlottetown. They are number 4, 5 back of the regiment. We're going to see some juxtapositions here in the next few games. But the Cats want that Jean Rougeau trophy. Back-to-back would be great after last year. We're underway. The referees in this game are Mo LeBlanc and Jeff Hopkins, shot in by the Cats right off the bat. Graydon Robertson-Palmer, Teddy Mutrin, Preston Lounsbury, Fortier Gendron, Tommy Blyle. We have a long list of Blyle accomplishments. We'll get to that when we have a little more time. Shot in by Cape Breton off the faceoff. Fortier Gendron, the Q plus-minus leader, leaves it in behind the net to Robertson-Palmer. Lovely play up the wing to Ted Mutrin. Mutrin will slow it down, reverse it, and throw it across the Moncton blue line. Fortier Gendron steps over that red paint and drips it in behind Hamel. In the corner, Noah Jettelson for the Eagles. Puck loose at the Moncton blue line. My apologies. Evan Depatie comes back through center. Veronin will throw it across the neutral zone. Intercepted by off the bench by the Eagles, bringing it in. Elliott L'Italien, bouncing puck. He took a bit of a clip on the side of the face. He's holding his chin, and no penalty on the play. Gabe Smith will come through center. Nice dish-off pass to Veronin. Veronin full stop, comes back to the blue line, turns the other way, and again goes back against the grain, but he threw it down the wall, picked up by number 10, Caden Kelly. The Mississauga forward, number 10, shoots it in behind. Weiner. Moncton throws it around the boards. Veronin through center. Gabe Smith now wheeling through that neutral zone. Comes in on the right side. Left-handed shot. Smith will put the brakes on to Veronin. Veronin tight corners in front. Wow, to Chudzinski. He was all alone, but the puck bounced over the stick. Back come the Eagles. Jacob Hartland. The Haligonian shoots it in. It's in behind the Moncton net. Valenius battling in the corner, along with Captain Desnoyers, Mercier, and Ryan Chudzinski. Back to the blue line. Across the paint it goes. Jettelson shooting, scores! High-rising wrist shot. I don't know if that was deflected. Just inside the blue line over the right shoulder of Jacoby Weiner. And just like the game on Sunday, where St. John got 3 quick ones, Cape Breton on the board at 1:55. Time of the goal, Assurance Bienot.
Well, Marty, itself a bit of an odd bounce on the dump in there on the corner. Made it hard for the Cats defender to get a hold of that one, and the Eagles jump on top of it, and they work it from low to high there, get a shot off from Jettelson, like you said at the point, and it's tipped in front by Adam Klaus. He'll get a stick on that one and redirect it just up over the shoulder of Jacoby Weiner and get that one just in between the post and the crossbar there, and now the Eagles will jump off to an early lead in this one.
Klaus did get a stick on that. The puck seemed to go even faster on the deflection. Took right off upstairs under the bar. Cape Breton 1-0 lead here at the Avenir. Moncton comes out of their zone, back to Klaus at the blue line. He'll rip it in behind the net of Weiner. In the corner, Sautier back to the blue line. There's a drive, and Weiner will track that low wrist shot in a traffic jam and make the save. 17:45 to go. Hey, we got a free game tonight on FloHockey TV and YouTube actually as well. Welcome all our new fans out there. It's a game gratuit on FloHockey Television. Welcome everybody if you're just tuning in. We'll be in Newfoundland Saturday, 6:30 p.m. start and 3:30 on Cats Radio, Inspire FM, and FloHockey Television. 1-0 lead. Here come the Cats over the blue line. They're going to try to center one. Nico Turnus, Teddy Mutrin, Simon Bickley. Mutrin works off a check. He'll come around, centers it. Loose puck to the side of the net. Thrown around the boards by Brady Flynn. 1-0 Cape Breton leading on the tip-in goal by Klaus, 8th of the year at 1:55. Shot in by the Eagles, Matt Virgilio. Reversing it behind the net to Eric Valenius. Around the boards to Binkley. Bothered by the incoming McCullough. Stole it actually, shooting from a sharp angle. Tipped. It's in the Cats' corner of Matt Virgilio. Up the wall it goes. Redirected in by the Cat forward. That's Robertson Palmer. Aiden McCullough, 65. He's in behind the net. The St. John D-man, 6'2". Starts out for Cape Breton. They have a 1-0 lead at the Avenir. 16:50 remaining. Bouncing puck through the neutral zone. The Cats are back in numbers, and they get the puck back. Lounsbury through the neutral zone to Riley Sampson. Intercepted and chipped down in the wall. Lounsbury on the chase with McCullough in behind the net. The puck is left there. Robertson Palmer out the other side with Lounsbury. He has to get his stick back meanwhile as McCullough steps out to the right of goaltender Felix Hamed. Moncton skating right to left. There's a long stretch pass not connecting, and that'll be icing on the play to Cape Breton. 16:21 to go. 1-0. Moncton no shots yet. The goal, Adam Klaus from Noah Jettelson and Jacob de La Durante at 1:55.
Well, Marty, you give the early one up here, and for Jacoby Weiner, you gave up 3 early in the last game as well. This is a bit of a pivotal moment here. You can either get back on your heels and maybe get worked up about it, or you can dig in there and go to work. And I like how just off the next shot after that goal against, he came out hard, confident, and challenged the shooter and made sure to make a nice save.
Cats don't panic very often. It's been an amazing battle with Chicoutimi on top of the standings now for almost a month. Chicoutimi leading by 1, and they are going to play the Cataracts in Shawinigan. Not easy to win in there a little bit later. Back to the blue line. Fired in by Deputy just wide of Hamel. Cape Breton gets it up the boards. Chipped in by the Cape. They're in the corner in the Moncton zone. Raoul Bollard. Puck left there to Deputy. Slings it around the boards, but the Eagles have it at the blue line. They're going to feed it back into the corner. Elliot L'Italien centers it, but Chudzinski is there. He tried a little dish-off pass. In turn intercepted by Gabe Smith. And Moncton's big number 9 motoring through center on the wing. For Ronan, throws it in front. Give and go to Smith. He looked up to shoot, and the puck slid off the end of his stick. Back to the blue line. There's a drive by Virgilio. Knocked down in the corner. Chudzinski on the wall with Gabe Smith. Smith steps out. Gabe Smith spinning off Boilard. Chudzinski as well. Strong on the boards, that line. Voronin with the speed moves in. Pinned by Hartland, or Jettelson, that should read. Back to the blue line for Moncton. Puck battle on the wall just inside the Cape Breton blue line. Eagles are up 1-0. 15 to go in the opening period here at the Avenir Center. 7,000 on hand Sunday. Moncton beating St. John 6-3. Cats have won 4 in a row heading into this game. In behind the net, not in any particular hurry. Noah Jettelson stepping out, number 23. Up ice, the American D-man. It's chipped in by Klaus. He's from Gladno, Czechia. That'll reach the netting in the Moncton zone, stopping play. Yeah, Weiner, well, where do we start? He's one back of, he's tied with David Savard in the all-time assist category by defensemen. Both have 64. So he'll be the all-time leader on assist with his next one. On the overall points list, he's one back of Savard. Aiden there with 76, Savard 77. Keith Yandel, the ultimate lead, 84. We'll expand on that a bit later. Denway is in the corner. He'll come out and shoot. Deflected into the corner in the Cape Breton zone. Moncton still no shots on net. 1-0 Cape, 14:21 remaining. Puck shot out to center by the Eagles. Game 60 for Chicoutimi as well. Tommy Blyle's in the corner. Good reverse to Fortier-Gendron. Back to Tommy Blyle in the Cats' corner. Nice play up the boards. Here comes Gavin Cornforth. Great speed. Dancing through the neutral zone. Dishing it off to Desnoyers to Cornforth at the side of the net. Puck not cooperating. Desnoyers. Good reverse there. At the net. Off the leg. Messier was parked in front in game number 280. Devin McCausland, 282. All-time games played leader. Desnoyers tried to send one to the front of the net, intercepted by the Cape. High flip to the Moncton blue line. Fortier-Gendron looks around for some open men and slips it across to Tommy Blyle. Long left wing pass through center. Directed in by Ted Mutrin. Nico Turnus on the chase. Mutrin will intercept that in front. Whoa, that almost connected to Binkley. He'll swing out of the corner. Binkley gets it back in. Intercepted by Rory Pilling. Glace Bay native. High flip by Pilling to the Cat blue line. Picked up by Max Belen. Through center to Mutrin. On the wing to Binkley. 1-0 Cape. 13-11 to go. Meeting number 8 on the year. The Cats are 6-1. 5 have been by 1 goal. Along the blue line. Loose puck intercepted by Binkley. Back to Mutrin. The drive. Saved by Hamel. Mutrin tried to get the rebound. Was angled off, though, by Romeo, and a high flip by Cape Breton down in the zone. Derek Andrews. Hunter River PEI chasing Deputy. Romeo puts on the brakes. Bodied by Turnus. Centering pass. And the Cats are there defending. Mutrin comes down the wing. To Nico Turnus. Turnus over the blue line. Some nifty stick handling, but puck turned over at the blue line. Back come the Eagles. Mutrin, good back checking. Moncton gets it back. Long right wing pass through center. Riley Sampson trying to dance in around Nick Holomego, the 6'5 D-man. Puck in the Cape Breton zone, and behind the net, 21, Reese Peitsch. Jettleson back to Peitsch in the corner. Moncton one shot on net. Cape Breton only a couple. 12-13 to go in the opening period here. Thursday night hockey, game 60. Cats on home ice are 22-7-1-0. Referees are Mo LeBlanc and Jeff Hopkins. Bouncing puck in the neutral zone. It continues to be loose. Cape Breton will slip it in the Cat zone, but Valenius is there. Under pressure from Elliott L'Italien. Puck battle in behind. Jacoby Weiner round the boards. Kept it at the blue line by Brady Flynn, the Bostonian. Centered by the Cape. A backhander. Blocked in front by the Cats. Robertson Palmer on the wing to Lounsbury. Feathers it in the corner before heading to the bench. Riley Sampson takes his men into the boards hard. Brady Flynn, the Eagles back in behind their own net. Marty Kingston, Aiden Glendenning here at the Avenir Center. Game 60, Cats one back of Chicoutimi. 8 o'clock start for the Saguenayens at Shawinigan. Shot in the Moncton zone, battling on the wall, Caden Kelly and Fortier-Gendron. Fortier-Gendron back in behind the net to Tommy Blyle. Blyle, they're watching him close. He'll feather one up the boards. Trapped at the Moncton bench and shot back in. Caught by Blyle, actually. And he'll start one through center. What a lovely feed to Mercier. Dropping it for Desnoyers. Off a stick. Good poke check by Desnoyers. In front to Cornforth. Couldn't get the shot away. Blyle again with that lovely pass at the blue line. Mercier just about walked in alone. 10:48 to go. Mercier's out there for the Cats at the blue line. Blyle, lovely pass to Desnoyers through center. Hartland can't shoot it out. Finally got it back to Swiss product Sautier. They're battling at the Moncton bench. The Cape had the puck. They try to bring it in. Knocked away by Valenne. He's in behind the net, Sautier. And Reese Peitsch centered by Cape Breton, but only red sweaters there. And the Cats shoot it out to center. Drifted back in by Jettelson. 10:18 to go in the opening period. 1-0 Eagles. Cats starting to get their sea legs, as it were. Long stretch pass by Moncton. It's loose in the neutral zone for Ronan. Chudzinski along with Gabe Smith. Smith and Nico Turnus have 16 power play goals apiece. Almost tops in the CHL. The lead, I believe, is 19. Jettelson comes in. Sharp angle shot. Palm down by Weiner back into the corner. Centered by the Eagles. Back to the blue line. Jettelson along the boards takes a hit from Chudzinski. Puck kept in by Romeo. Eagles along the boards with Gabe Smith. Romeo in the corner. Dishing it off to Derek Andrews. Cape Breton working the Cats hard here. Moncton 6-1 on the year against the Cape. It's back to the blue line. A loose puck will be knocked back into the corner to Deputy. Evan Deputy spins off a check. Around the boards to Kuzma Veronin. He's going to reverse it back in behind the net to Max Valenne. Around the boards to Deputy. The incoming defenseman, though, kept it in along the boards. Holomego, 6'5", back to the blue line. Cape Breton fires it back in behind Weiner. A lot of work in the trenches here. The Eagles trying to bottle up the Cats, centered by Cape Breton. A bouncing puck, another drive. Deflected over the Moncton net. Back in the corner it goes. Deputy takes the hit from Pilling, tries to protect the puck. Chudzinski gets a bit of room on the right side. Through center. He'll come over the line with Veronin. Veronin moving in at the net, and Chudzinski was tied up. Teddy Mutrin puts the puck into the corner with Brady Flynn. Veronin shows up for support. Veronin behind the net to Mutrin, centers it. Back to the middle of the blue line, Virgilio. Virgilio in the slot area, but the Cats were tied up. And a high flip out to center by 81, Laverdière, rolling down the ice, no icing. 8:24 to go. Tight checking by the Cape, limiting Moncton here, but the Cats starting up the right side. Valenius to Ted Mutrin. He'll chip it in the Cape Breton zone, chasing Simon Binkley. Here come the Eagles, 8:10 remaining, 1-0 lead. De La Durante through center, almost intercepted, stepping over the line. Raoul Boilard, they score! Quick shot! Wow! Boilard came in, and it's a 2-0 lead at 11:58, time of that goal. Raoul Boilard, number 17, getting goal number 14 on the year.
Yeah, like you said, Marty, his 14th of the year, and it's a nice, smart play there by Boilard to use the defender as a screen. He picks up a puck there loose at center, and he walks in, and a quick from out to in, little toe drag release there, and using the defender's shin pad as a bit of a screen, like I said, confusing Weiner on that one, a bit of a late reaction for him, and he beats him on the far side low glove, and now the Eagles, who have looked really good in this one up to this point, are up to a 2-0 lead against the Cats, and where the Cats look like they got to maybe make some adjustments here.
Well, 2-0 lead. St. John had a 3-0 lead fairly early, actually, on Sunday here at the Avenir. Klaus from Gentleson and De La Durante. Voila! 11:58 to go, 2-0 lead. Shots are 4-1 Cape. Here come the Eagles again through center. Tommy Blyle will chase a loose puck in the Moncton zone. Wow, good maneuver up on the wing. Over the stick of a right to the goaltender, no icing. Eagles 2, Moncton no score. Game 60 here at the Avenir. Fortier-Gendron along the boards. Nice poke check. He'll give it to Mercier. Poke checked off the stick of Mercier. Fortier-Gendron comes up the boards. Desnoyers through center. Cornforce over the line. Back to Desnoyers. There's the drive off the leg of McCullough. And the bouncing puck through center now. Here come the Eagles attacking once again. Drop pass over the blue line. Cutting to the middle and a backhander wide by number 21, Reese Peich. Bouncing puck. The Cats have it now at their own blue line. Depatie over the line. Pushed off the puck at the bench by 14, Holamego. Eagles 2, Moncton no score. 6:50 to go in the opening period. The high flip in the Cat zone. Icing on the play. I believe we'll have the timeout here at the Avenir Center. Cape Breton 2, Moncton no score. This is Wildcats Hockey on FloHockey TV from Moncton's Avenir Center.
Tremper, arroser, déguster, assaisonner ou juste comme ça. Il y a 1000 façons de savourer les frites des fermes Cavendish. Mais une seule façon de les faire. La bonne façon. Cultiver, récolter, laver, couper, inspecter et emballer. Juste de la bonne façon. Les fermes Cavendish, faites à notre façon, savourez à votre façon.
Petit, nice save, Hamel. Moncton trying to get something going. Mercier losing his stick. There's a play in front. Desnoyers had a shot. Point blank range off a player, and it bounced high, and the high flip down the ice by Cape Breton. Taking the pressure off. 6:25 to go. Cats threatening. Down 2-0.
Well, I like what I'm seeing here from that top line. Marty and Desnoyers, Mercier and Cornforth are playing extremely well together, and they have ever since Cornforth joined the squad. And for Desnoyers, he's currently on a 6-game assist streak where he's got 5 goals, 10 assists, 15 points during that span. He's been absolutely on fire for the club here.
2-0 Cape Breton. Puck shot out to center ice. And icing again on the play. Face-off outside the blue line. 6:15 to go, folks. Again, we'll be in Newfoundland on Saturday at the Mary Browns. Big crowds there expected, and Sunday as well. 6:30 on Saturday, our time, and 3:30 Atlantic time on Saturday.
And Marty, we've made a bit of a change there in between the pipes as Rudy Guimont has come in after that TV timeout for Jacoby Weiner, and we'll see how he settles in this one.
All right. Rudy Guimont now in goal for your Moncton Wildcats. 2-0. Shots are 4-2. 6:06 to go. Coming down the wing, Mercier. He'll center it back to the blue line. Blyle won't shoot, dishing it off to Fortier-Gendron. Desnoyers slides in on the wing to Blyle. Tommy Blyle trying to get a shot. Moves to some open ice. Comes in. There's the drive. They score. What a shot. Tommy Blyle. 2-1 at 14:11. Imperceptible release. Tommy Blyle, Aiden. What a goal. 14:11, as I said. Time of the goal, Tom Blyle.
Oh, and he's fired up, and why wouldn't he be? What an absolute play there by Tommy Blyle, Marty. It feels like almost every night we're getting a treat here to see one of these plays by him, and just so good on his edges. He stops up right there, fakes out the defender, gets around him with speed, and wires that one. Just low blocker on Hamel. What an amazing shot there by Tommy Blyle, and he lets the crowd know it with a big celly, and the Cats get on the board here, getting their first with 5:49 remaining in the period.
Yeah, that ties him with David Savard as well for all-time points by a defenseman in a Moncton uniform. Both he and David Savard now have 77 points. Keith Yandel, 84. The next assist that Blyle gets, he'll be the all-time leader there. 2-1. What a shot, and the Cats are back in it.
Number 16, Tommy Blyle. Assisté par number 18 avec l'aide du numéro 18, Caleb Desnoyers. And number 24, numéro 24, Adam Fortier-Gendron. À 14 minutes 11 secondes at 14 minutes 11 seconds.
All right, thank you, JR. 2-1. Timeout now being called. The referees are going over. What do we got? A review on the goal? Maybe Aiden, a bit late, but I don't know.
Yeah, Marty, I'm not entirely sure what the timeout was called for. I'm not sure if it was a team timeout or not. The ref was there talking with Eagles head coach Jason Clark for a moment before coming back to the in between the penalty boxes here to chat amongst themselves. I'm not sure what's going on there, but Rudy Guimont giving taps out to all the guys, giving some encouraging words to his goalie partner and Jacoby Weiner after coming in relief, where I feel like it's more of a wake-up call switch, in my opinion, Marty, as the team in front of Weiner wasn't really, it didn't seem like they were really on a roll there, and he only gave up 2, and one of them off a deflection, so I don't think it's anything really on Weiner's part, more of trying to get the guys.
We are Greenfoot Energy Solutions. We do insulation, mini-split, central heating systems, and solar. But Greenfoot's going to face 3 shots. How many saves is he going to make? That wasn't too bad. We're Greenfoot Energy Solutions, your one-stop shop for energy efficiency.
Change, as Aiden pointed out too, it could all change the way the chemistry of the game works and how it's affected. 5:31 to go in the first, 2-1. Tommy Blyle, Guimont back in. Teddy Mutrin now dishing it off through center. Binkley and Nico Turnus pressing, high flip back through center. Max Boleyn is there, and he wires one in. Hamel slowed it down a little bit. Back in behind the net, Jacob de la Durante from Gatineau battling in behind the net. 2 Cats as well. 2-1, Tommy Blyle, pardon me. Tommy Sr. listening tonight. Good evening, all the Blyles. Beautiful goal by Tommy, and 13 on the year from Desnoyers and Fortier-Gendron. 2-1. Binkley starts through center. Right wing pass. Coming in, Deputy. Drop pass to Turnus. Tried to get that famous torpedo away. And off a skate, blocked by Cape Breton. Here comes Pilling. 1-on-2. He'll drop it back to the incoming Jettelson. A shot just wide on the stick side of Rudy Guimont. 4:37 to go. Shots are now 4-4 with a 2-1 Eagles lead. Teddy Mutrin gathering momentum. He'll drop pass at the blue line. Cornforth comes in, having a good look around. Cornforth behind the net, being bothered by Laverdière. High flip by Moncton, but intercepted by 74. That's Hugo Charon. He'll hit the Moncton blue line, looked like offside, and indeed that was the call. 4:15 to go. All right. The goal, Tommy Blyle. Any other records that Blyle may have attained there, Aiden? We'll have to look at that.
Yeah, he's I don't think he's attained it yet, but he's one off of having the most goals by a rookie defenseman, I believe, in Cats history. He's currently one away from tying Daniel Milan at 14, so he's approaching that in the goals department as well. It seems we've got records coming from him all the time here recently.
Dan Milan, I remember that player with the Cats. It goes back a few years, Aiden. 4 minutes to go in the opening period. Cape Breton up 2-1. Cats skating right to left here as always. Game 60, Chicoutimi as well. They're in Shawinigan late. A beautiful trip in the corner. Caleb Desnoyers. Play goes up ice. Cornforth over the line. He's got Mercier with him. Blyle in front to Mercier. Loose in front. Can they jam it in? Where is it? Another play in front. A drive. Blocked in front. Wow. Bodies are falling in front of Hamel and cleared away by Cape Breton. Blyle got a heavy shot away and hit a lot of traffic in front of Hamel. Cornforth over the boards for Captain Desnoyers. Delayed offside. Moncton just about tying this up. 3:20 to go. Cats now leading in shots 6-4. Great skating team. Cape Breton popped in a couple early here at the Avenir, but Moncton responding on Tommy Blyle's dazzling shot to make it 2-1. In the corner, Valenius up the wing. Gabe Smith reversing the flow. They're at the Moncton blue line through center, chipped in by Veronin, chasing Lounsbury. Puck still in the Cape Breton zone. Brady Flynn, good Boston name, will chip it out to center. Cats are there, but turned over incoming. Number 88, that's Maxime Sautier. The centerman from Switzerland fired around the boards and by Lounsbury. It might be icing on the play. There is the whistle stopping play. 2:39 to go. Blue Eagles, UNB Reds. I mentioned Gardner jokingly. If we could clone you, we'd be at the Aiken Center. Game 3, the final game. Series tied 1-1. Great hockey, big crowds. It'll be packed tonight at the Aiken Center, no doubt. We'll try to get a score for you on that one.
Well, what a series that has been. And former Wildcat Mika Sear, too, contributing well for his club at the University of Moncton.
Yeah, Cole Huckins having a good series for UNB, a former player, a star in the queue. Here come the Cats in their own zone through center. Veronin's got that great speed down the right side. Veronin cuts in, giving a bit of a grab on the way in, I thought, on the right side. And the arm is up. I think that's a penalty on the play. Maybe not. Again, I make a very poor official. 2:23 to go. I thought Veronin's right arm was grabbed on the way by, Aiden, but it's a great effort by the speedy 27. As he cut to the net, the Cape Breton player actually took the net off.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate break for the Wildcats as well, because Kuzma gets that puck right back and he finds Gabe Smith wide open in front of the net, nearly at the top of the crease right after that net's pushed off by the Cape Breton defender, and Gabe chucks that one in where the net would have been just in case, as we seen there just the other game, as one goal counted for Teddy Mutrin in the same type of situation. This one in turn does not count this time around, but another great play, like you said, by that line, and Kuzma Veronin with that speed.
2:23 to go in the opening period. Moncton trailing 2-1. The shot's now 7-4 Cats. Clearing play by a bit of a spray action by l'Italien. Rudy Guimont was there. L'Italien came to a full stop. And a little bit of snow on the Moncton goaltender. Cats coming to the defense in front of the net. Desnoyers, Mercier, and Evan Depatie. No penalties yet. I don't believe we've had penalties in this really quickly played first period so far. 2:14 to go.
Well, Rudy Guimont is no stranger to these Eagles. He was in between the pipes there last week where the Cats won 5-1. He only gave up one goal, Marty, and if you can remember, it was off a double deflection. So the goaltender played extremely well in that one, and he's played extremely well all year. I mean, he leads pretty much every stat category for a goaltender in goals against, save percentage, and wins. So he's been impressive for this club, and he makes some big saves here early, getting into this one a bit late.
Tommy Blyle has the Moncton goal. It's a 2-1 Cape Breton lead, shot in by the Eagles from center. On the clock, 2 minutes remaining. Cape Breton will feed it back in the Moncton zone. Valen's back in behind. Guimont off the boards and out to center. Mercier covered on the play. De La Durantier through center. Intercepted over the line. Cornforth dancing in on the right side. In front to Desnoyers. Just behind him on the good setup by Cornforth to Desnoyers. Back come the Eagles over the blue line. A drop pass. Moncton's captain is there. It's a 2-on-1. Cornforth's got Mercier with him. Covered, though, fairly well by Ladurante. Mercier round the boards to the blue line. Kept in by Fortier-Gendron. And that is offside at the blue line. Wow, that play had potential. 2-on-1, but full marks to Ladurante to catch up to Cornforth there.
Yeah, Marty, it looked like we were going to have another solid chance there, maybe tying this game up. Like you said, it was Cornforth in on a 2-on-1 there to start with Mercier, but a great back check by Ladurante to break that one up and tie up Cornforth and kind of limit that chance there.
2-1 Cape Breton. 1:25 remaining. Marty and Aiden here. Thursday night action at the Avenir Center on FloHockey TV. You get a free night on YouTube as well. Welcome everybody. And Cats Radio, Inspire FM. Loose puck in the neutral zone. Chudzinski trying to pull away from fellow 22 Heartland. Chips it in the corner. He'll go in there with Sam Kupek from Slovakia. They jam up on the wall. Chudzinski actually can't move. Puck still tied up in the skates of Robertson Palmer. And back come the Eagles through center. Klaus, drop pass through center. Moncton comes back checking. Good solid efforts on the way back. Blyle's going to initiate a rush. He's over the blue line. Tommy Blyle pushed off the puck. Incoming Fortier-Gendron with a one-timer. Dangerous shot. Hit a skate or a leg in front of the net. And Gentleson now will slow it down a bit in behind the goaltender. Forced out by Veronin. 35 seconds to go in the opening period. Cape Breton 2, Moncton 1. Guimont round the boards to Fortier-Gendron. Back in the corner, Max Belen. Belen with some room to work with. On the wing to Veronin. They're at the Moncton blue line. They're through center. On the wing to Ted Mutrin. Intercepted and shot back in by the Eagles. Belen. Long right wing pass through center. On the tape, Mutrin picks it up from Veronin. Teddy Mutrin comes in on the right side, cutting around his man. Mutrin centers it off his skate again. Back into the corner with 2 seconds remaining. Veronin gets it up on the boards, and a high flip by the Cape out to center. That'll do it for the opening period of play. 2-1 Cape Breton will get the shots here from JR momentarily. And Aiden will be back with his take on the first period. This is a slush puppy first intermission. Here's JR.
La fin de la première période. By the Moncton Wildcats 7 set and the Cape Breton Eagles 4 cut.
All right, 7-4 Moncton. It was one shot, I think, came at the halfway mark. We'll be back with a slush puppy intermission here from the Avenir Center. Aiden Glendenning's take on the opening period. Craig Eagles will drop by as well. And a whole lot more around the queue. What's new? Our weekly winners and players of the week, team of the week, prospect of the week, and CHL leaders as well. Marty Kingston, Aiden Glendenning in Moncton's Avenir Center. 2-1 Eagles after one. This is Wildcats Hockey on the Cats Radio Network, Inspire FM. Welcome back to the Avenir Center. Cape Breton Eagles 2, Moncton Wildcats 1. Started to look like Sunday a little bit, but things kind of turned around a little bit. Your thoughts on the opening 20?
Well, we're a Wildcats broadcast, Marty, but we got to give credit to the Eagles. They came out really hard in this one, and it was their forecheck really that made the difference. They were all over. They were tenacious in the Wildcats D zone and made it hard for the defenders to get the puck out and have a clean breakout. And when that happens, you get passes going everywhere as pucks bobbling all around the place, and they get a couple bounces there early with the tip-off of Adam Klaus to get that 1-0. And it was a nice goal as well for the second one, using the defender as a screen. And inevitably, the coaching staff decided it was time Weiner should come out, maybe give a bit of a wake-up call for the team. And it worked respectively, and Tommy Blyle getting a goal right away. The club seemed to have waken up right away, because before that pull, they only had one shot on net, if you could believe it, through almost 15 minutes of play, and at the end of the period, they finished with 7. So as the period went on, they kind of found their legs under them, and it was a really good period by the club. Overall, really.
It seems to take always a great individual play to get a team back in. We saw that from Blyle. He was covered at the blue line. He managed to pull away. Fairly tight angle, but a beautiful wrist shot. Very quickly done. You don't know it's coming, and a beautiful shot.
Well, it just speaks to the talents of Tommy Blyle, right, Marty? He's just so good and so deceptive at that blue line. You never know what he's going to do, and for a goaltender, he can make a quick pass down low, go back door, but he's also got the power to let that one go as a shot and beat you clean and square. So just such a powerful weapon there to have at the point, and a really good talent for the Moncton Wildcats.
Thank you for your comments. Aidan Glendenning here at the Avenir Center. It's a 2-1 Cape Breton lead after 1. Craig Eagles from neutral zone will be by in just a moment. Cats trailing by a goal here on Wildcats Hockey, FloHockey TV from the Avenir Center. Intermission. They're all lined up to come on the show. It's great. Craig Eagles from neutral zone, a regular contributor now over the past few seasons. Well, it started to look like St. John on Sunday. 3-0 lead Sea Dogs, 2-0 Cape Breton. What changed in that period?
One team was ready to play and the other team wasn't.
Okay. Name that team. No, Moncton got it back, though.
They did. Top to bottom, you got to be ready to play. Whether it's the warm-up, whether it's your preparation, you got to be ready to play. As soon as the puck drops, at this time of year, you got to be ready to go. And if you're not, the league's too good. You're going to be pulling pucks out of the back of your net, and that's what happened. Individual effort by Blyle gets them back in, but even a couple opportunities, couple chances, but you got to be ready to go.
Yeah. It's a 4-game homestand. The final fourth game we played Sunday. Moncton got their speed going and their mojo back, as it were, rallying, scoring 6 in a row actually to beat St. John 6-3. We're off to Newfoundland tomorrow for the weekend action, battling the regiment, and then next weekend it'll be the home of the Islanders to complete the regular season. Chicoutimi up by a point. They're in Shawinigan tonight.
It's incredible to see that we're already here, obviously, near the end, but 4 big games, and you can't overlook this one tonight. You can't take any of these games lightly. It's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, you're chasing for top spot in the league. If that's important to you, you want to go full out, and that's great. But if you've got some players in your lineup that are banged up right now might be the time to use your depth and let it play out. But Newfoundland, 2 big games, and the Islanders, you always know what you're going to get when with a Jimmy Halton coach team. So big test and a good test for the Wildcats coming down the stretch and entering the playoffs.
Blyle keeps knocking the records off now. He's tied with David Savard, number 2 all-time points in 1 year. Keith Yandel had 84 back in 05-06. Savard and Blyle now are at 77. Tommy needs 1 more assist to be the all-time assist leader in a season. He'll have 65. He's currently tied with Savard now at 64. Hard to keep up.
You'd be hard-pressed for anyone to really say, oh, well, I knew Tommy Blyle would put up numbers like this. It's incredible what he's done offensively. There's no question. And to see him, how far he's come, and the adjustments that he's made to have this success, it's pretty special. There's no question. Now it's just heading into the playoffs. When the temperature rises, are you going to be there physically? Are you going to be there mentally? It's a big test, and it's a big test for all NHL draft picks. So teams are going to key in on them. Teams are going to continue to forecheck Moncton very, very hard and get in and apply the pressure. That's one area that the Cats they're going to have to zero in on. They're a great hockey club. No one's taking that away from them. But these last few games, those are a good test where you learn and you adapt, and that's what they're going to do heading into the playoffs.
Absolutely. Game 60. Craig, thanks for your take on the opening period. Marty and Craig here at the Avenir. 1 period gone. Cape Breton Eagles 2, Moncton Wildcats 1. Welcome, everybody, on FloHockey TV. Welcome back, everybody, and it's a free night of FloHockey TV. Isn't that special? Thank you, FloHockey, for extending that. YouTube as well. Aiden, we're being heard all over the world tonight.
Well, and everyone's going to be given a treat here for a free game to watch between a top team in the CHL here in the Moncton Wildcats and the Cape Breton Eagles. And that first period didn't really go like you'd have planned for the Wildcats. However, it could be worse. Just their last game there, they were down 3-1 after one. They're only down 2-1 after one here. And a team that sits third in the CHL in goals per game at a 4.80 is, there's plenty of time here to get some more on the board. 40 to go here, and not how you would have drew it up to start, but lots of time remaining.
Moncton has won 4 in a row. This is game 60. The Cats are 45, 10-2-2. Scoring summary, we got a few seconds to give you that. Adam Klaus opened it up for Cape Breton. 8th of the year from Noah Jettelson and Jacob de La Durante, 155. At 11:58, Raoul Boilard. Nice shot, one-on-one, used the D as a screen. 14th of the year from de La Durante and Jettelson again. Cats on the board, a beautiful shot. We heard that replay from our producer Adam McLaren a few minutes ago. Tommy Blyle getting 13 on the year from Caleb Denoyer and Adam Fortier-Gendron. Fortier-Gendron is the Q- leader in the entire Q at plus 61. Preston Lounsbury leads in shooting percentage. Gabe Smith and Nico Turner share the power play goal lead with 16. And Blyle is the assist leader in the Q with 64. A lot of Moncton names up there on the categories, among others. Tommy with his 13th of the year. We're back to second period just getting underway. Marty and Aiden here at the Avenir Center. Shots are 7-4 Moncton. Teddy Mutron will intercept one. He centers one in front. Wow, Smith was all alone. It went behind him. Cape Breton comes up the zone. Good back checking by the Cats. Trying to bottle up the neutral zone. Reese Peitsch at the Moncton blue line. Pulls it loose from a crowd. Peitsch will come in. Long shot. Glove save by Rudy Guimard. Fairly routine from that distance, stopping the play 19-23. We look at the standings. The little X's indicate you made the playoffs. I don't think Baie-Comeau can catch anybody right now, so we would eliminate Baie-Comeau with 5 games to go. Rimouski could catch Gatineau. Outside chance. They'd have to win all their games. Gatineau would have to lose all their games. So it's looking like Rimouski and Baie-Comeau in the East will not be making it this year.
Well, what an unfortunate turn of events for Rimouski there, Marty. They went on a losing streak roughly around 20 games there at one point where it looked like they were almost a shoo-in.
Yeah, absolutely. Here come the Eagles over the line. A bouncing puck brought up the wing by Veronin. He's going to backhand it in from center. Cape Breton leading 2-1. We played 1 minute in the second period here at the Avenir Center. 7,000 on hand Sunday. Big crowd. Moncton taking it 6-3 over St. John for their 4th consecutive victory. Here come the Cats up the wing. Tipped in the Cape Breton zone. Lounsbury chasing. Knocked down on the way to the puck. Here come the Eagles through center over the blue line. Aiden McCullough gets by Cornforth. Could not get by Depatie. Moncton's 44 flips it out to center. Knocked back in by the Cape. Picked up by Depatie. A long left wing pass at the Moncton bench. Across the line. Cornforth in the corner. Trying to get something set up. Knocked off the puck. He'll come up the boards. Picked up by 19. That's l'Italien. He'll chip it in by his man, Virgilio. Puck in behind the net of Guimard. Intercepted by Jacob Hartland. Back to the blue line. De La Durante throws it across the blue line. Shot. There's another drive off Virgilio. Wow, that hit him off the side of the helmet. He went down immediately, calling for Bob Cormier to come out there. Cape Breton player Aiden turned and fired. Might have got Virgilio on the side of the facial area. He is down in front of the net of Rudy Guimard. Bob Cormier there in a really quiet crowd here at the Avenir. Hope he's okay. Matt Virgilio being looked at by Bob Cormier. We'll take a break, folks, and come back while the Moncton player recovers, hopefully. It's a 2-1 Cape Breton lead. Marty and Aiden here at the Avenir Center. Second period action on FloHockey TV. All right, Matt Virgilio now being helped to his feet, and he'll head back to the Moncton bench. Welcome, everybody, on FloHockey TV. Marty Kingston, Aiden Glendenning going under his own steam. I think that puck, I don't think he saw it from the blue line, Aiden, and it came right off the facial area, I believe. You were looking at replays there, but I couldn't pick it up conclusively.
Yeah, we've only got a wide shot there, but it looks like the puck maybe caught him there, rode up underneath the visor, got him a bit in the nose area, and like you said, that's a tough one to take. Never like to take a puck to the face there, but especially one where you got your head turned initially and you turn to maybe see a puck after a block, and all you see is a puck coming straight for your face, and he wears that one, and an impressive block, and the teammates will give him some taps there as he sacrifices the body in a sense, but you like to see he's skating off under his own power there, and no damage to either the eyes or anything too major there, just a bit of a bloody nose. But yeah, that one will definitely shock you, getting a puck to the face, Marty, and good to see him up and skating there on his own.
Solid D-man from Richmond Hill, Ontario, 19-year-old Matt Virgilio, 4 goals and 15 assists on the year, coming over from the Sioux Greyhounds at the midpoint in the year. 18:06 to go in the second period. Back to live action, Cat skating left to right. Tommy Blyle has the Moncton goal. 2-1 Eagles. Meeting number 8 on the year. The Cats are 6-1. Blyle with that great fake as he looks to go up ice, does not. Here comes Riley Sampson through center. On the wing to Chudzinski. Chudzinski coming down the wing. Angled off the puck in the corner by De La Durante. Puck and skates in the Cape Breton corner. Battling Riley Sampson, chasing Noah Jettleson, steals it. Sampson again, solid man in those corners. Back to the blue line. It'll be Fortier-Gendron. Back to Blyle at the net. Tipped just wide. Chudzinski pulls it out the other side. Quickly back to the blue line. Fed back in the corner. Simon Binkley is there. Binkley comes out of the corner, gets it back into Chudzinski. Chudzinski giving a really good, it appears to be a grab or bear hug by De La Durante. And some of the fans are looking for that minor penalty. Here comes Klaus across the Cape Breton blue line. Klaus chipping it in from there. 17 to go in the second period. Shots are 7-5 Moncton, 2-1 Cape Breton. Through the neutral zone, the Cats looking to get something going. Sampson. It's a rolling puck kept in by Binkley just inside the blue line. Now out to center. Blyle will swing back and give it to partner Fortier-Gendron off the Cape Breton bench inside the blue line. Desnoyers powers his way in, has a look around. Desnoyers comes back. Nice setup in the wing. Here comes Valenne, a drive in front of the net. Good shot by Valenne, blocked in front. Gavin Cornforth steps across the blue line. Back to Valenne. He'll throw it in the corner to Mercier. Pulling away from Rory Pilling. Mercier, Cornforth puts on the brakes. Gavin Cornforth along the blue line. Oh, and it came outside barely. The Cats have to come back. Good pressure by Moncton. On the wing, Mercier taking a dish off from Desnoyers across to Depatie at the top of the circle. Depatie back to the blue line. Gavin Cornforth now having a look around, gets to some open ice. Cornforth still with it, comes out of the corner with it, in front of Desnoyers. Deflected just by a Cape Breton player out to center. Max Belen spins off a check and wrists it in from center. Good pressure by the Cats, who trail 2-1. Cornforth steals another one. Back to the blue line. Valenne comes in. There's the drive, and it sails over the Cape Breton net. Back to the right point. Kept in by Depatie. Side of the net shot. Mercier gets a crack at it. Saved by Hamel. Kept in by Depatie. Good hook on Depatie on the way in. In front of the net, it's tripped wide by Cornforth. Teddy Mutrin now in the corner, working hard. Cornforth steals it, looking for Mercier. Great work by Cornforth on that line, and finally Cape Breton just flips a high one down the ice. That will be icing on the play. What work by that line. Cornforth, very impressive with his corner work. Number 92.
Well, and on that last chance there, it was a great keep by Evan Depatie at the blue line to hold it there, and he had about 4 guys all circled around him. He tried to get a pass loose to one of his open teammates. He ends up taking an odd bounce in front of the crease there and dribbles just to the side of the goal. Like you said, the Cats come within inches of tying this one here 5 minutes into the second period.
All right, some of the Quebec games are underway. I know it's very early, no scores yet reported. The Armada hosting Baie-Comeau. There's another drive by Mutrin. It's chipped over the net. The Cats turn us back to the blue line. Valenius trying to get it to Nico Turnus. Binkley Back to the blue line. Simon Binkley in front of the net to Turnus. They tried the one-timer. Mutrin will pick up the rebound in turn. Turnus stopped. He's going to look for Mutrin in the corner. Cats generating some good play. There's a quick shot by Mutrin, deflected by the Eagles. Now Moncton hemming in Cape Breton consecutively here, shift after shift. 14:41 to go in the second period. Eagles 2, Wildcats 1 at the Avenir Center.
Well, Marty Tornis came within inches again here to tie this one up. He ends up getting in all alone there and fakes the shot, pulls it to his backhand, and it just goes high over the net. But Tornis, what a story he's been for this hockey club this year. He goes undrafted in his first year of eligibility in the NHL. He joins the Moncton squad, and he's put up 41 on the season here so far.
Off the face-off, Fortier Jean Denol will wrap it in the Cape Breton zone. Thursday night crowd here at the Avenir. One home game to go. It's the 21st next Saturday, 4 o'clock capacity. Crowd expected. Shot in by the Eagles off the backboards. And Guimont will have to play it with the arrival of number 19, Elliot L'Italien. Well, yeah, with that goal, Tommy Blyle, folks, it bears repeating. He, the all-time, I think, goal record by a rookie defenseman. Pardon me, Aiden, on that. But he also catches David Savard on the point side at 77, and 13 back now. Make that 7 back officially of Keith Yandel, who had 84 points in 05-06. I'm stumbling over the stats here on Tommy Blyle. There's a point shot by the Eagles. Good pad save, Guimont. Back to the blue line. Another drive wide by Kupek at the right point. McCullough feeds it back into the corner, but it squirts loose to Blyle. Blyle comes up the right side, chopping it high through center. The Cats getting over that blue line. Veronen's going to keep it in. Jay Dwara's got the arm up. That's a delayed offside, and the Cats will retreat back to the neutral zone. Eagles 2, Moncton 1, long stretch pass. That is definitely icing. That was about chest high, not connecting to the winger at the blue line. And the horn indicating league timeout, folks. 13:52 to go in the second period. Moncton trailing 2-1, but the Cats offense starting to roll. 10-6 leading in shots here at the Avenir. Game 60. Cats looking for 5 in a row on FloHockey TV.
Everyone was going out west, run away from the girlfriend, chase the job and the big buck. You could not blame them. But you know why they always come back? Donair. Out west, there's Donair to go for the good food. When the plane landed at Aéroport Romeo, you could almost smell the Donair in the air. Just crave that mystery meat with the sweet, sweet sauce. The first bite after you come home, that's Worry Paw in the pita right there. Get some more Worry Paw feeling with Vienno Insurance. Visit govienno.com. Worry Paw.
Getting a lot of good momentum. Cornforth will stop turning and shooting, but block kept in by Deputy. There's the drive just wide. Wow, in front. Denvoyer knocked down on the way by number 17, Raoul Boilard. Penalties, very few in this game. Do we have any penalties, Aiden? I don't think we do. Nothing yet. 13:26 to go. 2-1 Cape. Puck and skates. We have 6 players. Jamming at it. Denvoyer will get it loose. Thrown around the other boards. The Eagles will throw a high one through center off a Cape Breton player. Picked up by the Cats. Deputy across to Villain. Up the wing. Nice play. Mercier putting on the brakes. Mercier in front to Villain. Can't get the shot away. Max Villain couldn't pull the trigger. Good setup from Mercier. Cornforth comes out of the corner. Poke checking. Aiden McCullough now being pressured by Mercier and Cornforth. Through center. Picked up by Kupek. He'll bomb one off the boards. The Cape Breton winger covered. No icing. Guimont will flow one high up the wall. And coming down the right side, Lounsbury in full gallop. Lounsbury cuts it on the right side. Kept in by Moncton's number 20. Back to Sampson. Along the board, Sampson will keep it in. Pretty good hook. There's a shot by Lounsbury. Arm save by Hamel on that quick wrist shot by Lounsbury. Across the blue line, Depatie at the net, high over the Cape Breton net. Lounsbury will catch up with that. Chipped out to center. Lounsbury again will turn through the neutral zone. Riley Sampson turns and fires it in the Cape Breton corner. 11-6 the shots in favor of Moncton. 2-1 Cape Breton. Rudy Guimont in, replacing Jacoby Weiner midway in the first. Here comes Adam Fortier-Gendron through the middle. Intercepted by De La Durante. He'll fire it in. Guimont lets it go. Valenius up on the boards to Lounsbury. Through center. Kept in by the Eagles. Good play by Riley Sampson. Across to Depatie. Robertson Palmer. Getting that great skating going through center. Palmer cupping it on the wing. Sampson in front to Robertson Palmer. Man, he was knocked down going into the corner. No puck. Anyway, Robertson Palmer getting up. Totally flattened on the way into the corner. We've had not a penalty in this hockey game, and it's 11:38 to go in the second period.
Yeah, Marty, I'm in a bit of disbelief here, the same sense as you are. I'm surprised, for one, we haven't seen even a single call here in this one, and especially on that last one where Green Robertson Palmer gets taken down there. That should have been a call, in my opinion. It doesn't get called like many others that should have been in this game so far, and we'll go on here.
Almost like playoffs are approaching. The interference is being kind of let go a little bit or overlooked. Tommy Blyle now inside the Moncton zone through center. Voronin dishes it off to Chudzinski, coming in on the off wing. Back to the blue line to Valen. Max Valen turns and fires high. It's over the net and flies out the other side. 11:18 to go. Puck in the center ice area. Good back checking Voronin. Moncton now has the puck through center. Voronin on the wing. Gabe Smith will reverse everything, go the other way. Smith coming in, drops it back on the boards. The chip out to center, but Blyle is there to pick it up. Blyle on the right side. To Chudzinski. Gabe Smith was coming back on the way out and offside. 10:59 to go. Around the league, the Armada are hosting Baie-Comeau. No score in Boisbriand. 14:59 to go in the opening period. Nothing happening in Shawinigan. The Chicoutimi Sags and Cataracts. Quebec Ramparts are in Victo to play the Tigre. Rouyn-Noranda in Rimouski. They had a kind of a freezing rainout last night. Game postponed in Rimouski. Always safe to do that with the weather. Fortier-Gendron off the faceoff. Snaps one through center, intercepted by the Cape. Moncton trailing 2-1. Second period action. 10:50 remaining. Binkley snaps one in behind the Cape Breton goalie. Round the boards. Fortier-Gendron tries to keep it in. He does. Along the boards, Binkley looking for an open Turnus. That play had a lot of potential too. Cape Breton's going to snap it in from center. Guimont snaps it around the boards. Back to the blue line. Brady Flynn puts it back in behind the Moncton net. In the corner. Laverdière swings back to the blue line under pressure. Chipped out to center. Wow, can Teddy Mutrin catch that puck? Inside the blue line now. Binkley knocked down by the incoming McCullough. Nico Turnus will forecheck in the Cape Breton corner. Good solid takeout of Brady Flynn. Hayden McCullough throws one up the boards high. Will that be a penalty? I believe it is. Well, my favorite when it goes against the other team. Not my favorite when it's against Moncton, but McCullough just trying to clear it out. And that'll be the first minor penalty, ladies and gentlemen, of this hockey game on a delay of game. Hayden McCullough, it's a Cat Power Play brought to you by Crown Plaza and Baton Rouge.
Well, this power play is dangerous, Marty. We said it before and we'll say it again. They're running at 31.8% on the power play and even a touch better here at home at the Avenir. And they've got plenty of weapons on this top unit, and especially Gabe Smith and Nico Turnus, like you said, who are tied for the league lead in power play goals at 16. Also tied with them is the Tigers' Alexei Vlasov.
Yeah, and it's not far away from the 19, which leads the CHL. I can't remember the leader, but Gabe and Nico are 3 goals back. That's the entire CHL across the country. Moncton power play, down 2-1. Battling in the corner, Teddy Mutrin, tenacious on that puck. Turnus at the circle will swing back in the corner and feed it back to the blue line. Tommy Blyle moves in from the point, has a good look around. No shot yet. Across to Turnus, back to Blyle. Blyle's got Desnoyers at the top of the circle. Across in front, Gabe Smith in the corner. Smith comes out. He'll leave it for Captain Desnoyers. Desnoyers moves out a little to the top of the circle. Back to Blyle. There's the drive. Just wide. Mutrin trying to be the screen in front. Blyle at the blue line. At the net again. Floating in front. Gabe was the rebound. And it slides into Hamel. Gabe Smith being watched closely by Cape Breton. Again, Blyle. The ability in the knack to get that puck to the net quickly. Can't put a price on that. Tommy Blyle, 9:19 to go. Moncton down 2-1. In the power play, 1:14.
Yeah, really good work there by Cape Breton in a sense to keep the Cats along the outside, but also for Tommy Blyle to recognize, not trying to force anything through a seam where you can maybe potentially turn it over. He throws some smart ones low and gets some rebounds generated.
Cab Desnoyers at the point. Yeah, any team that plays Moncton has to contain their speed and work on that element. Gabe Smith at the blue line has to bring it outside. He'll sling it back to the blue line to Blyle inside the Cat blue line. Power play time 55 seconds. Smith through center with a head of steam. Smith coming in on the wing. Gabe Smith continues in behind the net, spinning off Jettleson. Smith in the corner. Tornis had an open point man. They jam in there. Cat power play. Moncton down 2-1. Out the other side. Desnoyers back to Blyle. This continues. Desnoyers top of the circle. Desnoyers at the goal line to Gabe Smith. Smith will come out of the corner. Gabe Smith in front. Tornis lets it go. Off the shoulder, I believe, of Hamel with that high wrist shot by Nico Tornis. 41 goals on the year, 2 on Sunday. Gabe Smith still with it. Cutting. Turning in the slot area. There's the drive. Shot pass, I believe, wide. Desnoyers will get it back to the blue line to Blyle. Back to Desnoyers. Caleb Desnoyers. Nico Tornis moves in front. There's the shot. Blocked in front. The net is off. Hamel got a piece of that on the dangerous Nico Tornis stepping out of the corner. Net off. Hamel, good save.
Oh, what a play by Tornis, and this is a guy that wakes up for these games against the Eagles. He's running at nearly a goal per game coming into this one against the Eagles with 6 and 7, and he makes a nice toe drag there to get around the defender and in all alone and lets that one go, and a nice stop by Hamel and to stop that quick release off the stick of Tornis and keep his team ahead in this one late in the second period.
8:09 to go in the second period, 4 seconds to go in the Cat power play. As Aiden mentioned, number 2 in the league, but very close to Chicoutimi. The Sags, of course, have been putting a lot of pucks in the net. They've been bombing teams, actually, but in the replays, a lot of open men. I think I'll leave it at that. Anyway, here comes Villain across to Chudzinski. There's the drive. High over the Cape Breton net of Hamel. In the corner, Veronin. Around the boards, penalty over. Depati moves in from the blue line. Chudzinski forechecking along with Lounsbury. Kupek around the boards. It'll come back to Depati. There's the drive. Knocked down by Hamel. Lounsbury right there. Veronin steps out of the corner. Cuts into the middle. Drops it back to Depati. Great skater, number 44, across to Max Villain. Not shooting. Depati, one-timer. Low. Stick save Hamel on that one-timer by Depati. Cats threatening again. Depati at the blue line. He'll move in. There's another drive, and Hamel will take it on the chest. Lounsbury right there. Moncton now starting to roll up the shots. The Eagles still have only 6 shots on net, and they got a 2-1 lead. 7:26 to go.
Well, it's been a wake-up call since midway through the first period, and it looks like a completely different team than what we've seen hit the ice here at 7 p.m. this evening. They've absolutely turned it on here, to say the least, Marty, and they look like that championship team that they're aspiring to be.
Yep. The Jean Rougeau Trophy winners from last year looking to repeat. Again, Chicoutimi leads by a point. Both teams playing game 60. There's a wrist shot from the blue line by Fortier-Jean on pad save Hamel. Puck in behind the Cape Breton net. Meeting number 8 on the year. The Cats are 6-1. Teddy Mutrin battles in the corner with 2 Eagles. Up on the boards, Tornis protecting the puck well. Sautier trying to get it out. Some light pressure from Valenius, and down the wing comes Brady Flynn. He'll dish it off to Boilard. Back to Flynn in the corner. Watched by Fortier-Jean. Nico Tornis tried to come out. Intercepted by Boilard in turn. Brought in by number 10, Caden Kelly. Valenius behind Guimont. Throws it up on the boards to Binkley. Binkley rolls it across the blue line. Fortier-Jean trying to find Mutrin, and in comes Sautier. That'll be offside. Again, that door on the bench inside the blue line. It caught Cape Breton there. 6:39 to go. Go ahead. Sorry, Aiden.
I was just going to say it's nice to see Graydon Robertson Palmer get back in the lineup here, and unfortunately Bursaw will have to take the fall and go out here tonight, but Robertson Palmer's look good in this one. It's nice to see his speed active as always in these games.
Cape Breton up 2-1, 6:34 to go. At the Moncton blue line, 74 Shaw shoots it in. Guimont steers it to the corner. Tommy Blyle has the Cat goal from Desnoyers and Fortier-Gendron. Puck battle in the Cats' corner. On the boards, the Eagles stepping out of the corner. Can they get a shot away? Guimont, nice save on the short side there on Jettleson. Back in behind the net, Laverdière losing it. Desnoyers in the other corner to Tommy Blyle. Blyle comes up the boards. Dish off pass, Captain Desnoyers on the wing to Mercier. He's got the speed generated in behind the net. Jettleson trying to tie him up. Back to the blue line. Blyle back into the corner to Desnoyers. It'll be Cornforth reversing it to Desnoyers in the corner. Desnoyers comes out, steps to the middle. Can he get a shot away? On the wing, Valenne try to get it back to the blue line, intercepted. Desnoyers going to keep it in. In turn, Cornforth steals one, moving in front. There's a play. Wow, swept away by Sautier. Luckily, there were two Cats alone in front of Hamel. 5:28 to go. Moncton down by a goal. Tommy Blyle, good elusive maneuvers on Sautier. Through center, the Cats, Gabe Smith getting by his man, Kupek. Smith will come in. Backhander into Hamel. No further play, no rebound. Great action by the Cats, now leading in shots, 18-7. That was close there in front of the net. Two Cats were open.
Well, for Hamel, he hasn't been able to garner many wins here against the Cats this season, but he always makes it tough on them and keeps it close. I believe it's been 5 of the now 7 matchups have been decided by only 1 goal, and the goaltender's been making some big saves here late here in the second period.
We'll take a 30-second pause. 2-1 Cape Breton at the league timeout. This is Wildcats hockey on FloHockey TV.
You can trust Royale bathroom tissue for quality and softness. But did you know it's carbon neutral? The Royale brand is part of an organization that plants millions of trees each year in responsibly managed forests. Royale. Trusted quality, carbon neutral.
YouTube, we get a free night, free subscription tonight. We're exciting Moncton Wildcats hockey. 45 wins on the year, game 60. Cats have won 4 in a row. Chicoutimi's playing tonight as well. They're a hot club as well. Moncton did beat them back in their building a couple of months ago. Big 3-2 thriller at the George Vezina, the only Olympic ice in the entire queue. Veronin off the face-off, steps into one, right into the chest of Hamel. No rebound, big save. Aiden, there's a trend happening out there. Moncton starting to get some shots on net on Hamel.
Well, there must have been some talk here after the first period in the locker room to kind of get the point across, to get some more pucks on net and make Hamel a lot busy here. It makes it a lot harder as a goaltender when you got to keep going up and down, and it tires you out, and that's when mistakes happen and goals are scored.
2-1 Cape. Klaus and Boilard for the Eagles. Tommy Blyle, his 13th of the season for Moncton. Puck chipped in by the Eagles in the Cats' corner. Depatie is in there first, hampered by an Eagle player. Hooked a little bit as well. Depatie gets it up on the boards. 4:47 to go. The Eagles step out of the corner. Can they center one in front? There's a shot high over the net. Wow. Romeo was open briefly and got a chip shot high. Nice outlet pass. Depatie to Gabe Smith. They're over the Cape Breton blue line in front of the net. There's a shot. Pad save. Hamel and a beauty. Wow. Off Veronin. He went low on the glove side. Romeo knocks his man into the bunch. That's Blyle. Centered by Moncton. Picked up by the Eagles. 17 to Raoul Boilard. Kupek throws it up the boards. Blyle has his man covered. They're right at the penalty box area. Chudzinski will chip it in. McCullough being chased by Binkley. 4 minutes remaining. Cape Breton with the puck in their own zone. Romeo through center. Gets it up to Rory Pilling, coming in. Pilling cannot get by Fortier-Gendron, the veteran D-man up to Teddy Mutrin. Mutrin steps over the Cape Breton blue line on the right side. Quick shot. Blocker save. It'll come back to the blue line. Fortier-Gendron knocks it into the corner with Mutrin. Out the other side, Ted Mutrin trying to center one. Nico Turnus is there. Quickly back to the blue line. Binkley, a little give and go with Nico Turnus. There's the drive. Wide on the glove side, and it sails out through the point. Rolling puck in the neutral zone. Fortier-Gendron will pounce on that. He'll put the brakes on the boards. Fortier-Gendron back to Tom Blyle. Blyle moves into some tight area. Back to Fortier-Gendron, the drive. Mutrin in the corner with Klaus. 3:17 to go. The Cats out shooting the Cape 21-8 on the night. Mutrin through center to Fortier-Gendron. Across to Tommy Blyle. Back to Ted Mutrin. End of a shift. He'll chip it in the corner. Gentleson going in there. Good hit by Mercier. Nico Turnus trying to center one. With Desnoyers, puck knocked out to center. Depatie is there, and he'll hammer it back in the Cape Breton zone. Desnoyers on the wall, leaving it for Cornforth. Back in the corner. Mercier will fly into the corner. Refeeding it back in, tied up on the boards by the Cape. 2:43 to go in the second period. 2-1 Eagles. Mercier will steal one. In behind the net. Poke check luckily by Elliott L'Italien. And back come the Eagles through center. Holomego shot it out. Back in quickly by Moncton offside at 2:31. Wow. Good action by the Cats. They've been in the Cape Breton zone for most of the period. It remains a 2-1 Cape Breton lead.
Yeah, Marty, a bit of almost a 180 in this period. They've got out to 14 shots here so far in this period, and where they had a first where they only had one through nearly 15 minutes of play. So the Cats are really putting the work to the Eagles here now, and it's only a matter of time here, in my opinion, before they can break through on Hamel.
2:28 remaining. Puck is in the neutral zone area. Fortier-Gendron will get it. Slipping it over to Max Valenius. Off the boards to Binkley. Looking for Mercier. Desnoyers, is at the Cat bench. Mercier giving a really good grab and slam to the ice on the way by. And here comes Desnoyers over the line. Sharp angle shot. He got it away. 2 shots at Hamel. One off Desnoyers. And next, Mercier hammering a stick on the boards, looking in the direction of referee Mo LeBlanc, saying, where is the penalty on that hold or grab?
Yeah, Marty, I'm not sure.
I can't read the hand signals that quickly. Referee LeBlanc and Mercier were having an exchange there.
Yeah, I think they were just debating on the hold there, but I don't know if there was a memo maybe that went out league-wide to officials to maybe start preparing for playoffs and maybe let some things slide, because there's been a lot of things let go here in this one. They're letting the guys play, and, you know, for one side it's helping them out, and for the other it's not really something you like to see.
Penalty on the play right off the face-off. Well, wouldn't you know, there was a cross-check, an extra shove at the face-off circle. Gabe Smith pushed by Cape Breton player, I think, the veteran Lucas Romeo. They've been battling each other for 4 years. And the veteran Romeo, 6'3", 206, rugged customer from Oakville, Ontario. It's a Cat power play brought to you by Crown Plaza and Baton Rouge, our neighbors in Highfield and Maine, the place to be. Yeah, it's a good point. As long as both teams get away with the same, what we would call, we think are infractions.
Exactly.
It can't go one way or the other. And I think, to your point, that's the refs are doing a good job tonight. They're being let go on both sides as playoffs approach. 1:59 to go. Moncton trailing 2-1. Moncton 23 shots on net. Cape Breton 8. Their goals in the first period off the stick of Klaus on a tip-in from the point. And Raoul Boilard. Tommy Blyle for your Wildcats, 13th of the year from Caleb Desnoyers and Adam Fortier-Gendron.
Yeah, and that's one maybe the refs would have let slide if it wasn't for the fact that Romeo's stick actually broke off the back of Gabe Smith there off the cross-check. So one they kind of had to call there.
Off the face-off, Nico Turnus will get it back to Blyle, across to Desnoyers at the top of the circle. Desnoyers down low. There's a shot by Mutrin just wide, and it flies out to center. Blyle amazingly keeps it in. Rolling on the blue line. Kupek in behind the net. Airborne puck. Side of the net. Another drive. Hamel makes the save. Here come the Eagles through center, and they're going to simply fire it in the corner. Former Moosehead Reese Peich, number 21, from Beaverbank, NS. Cats on the power play. 1:26 to go in the second period. Cape Breton leading 2-1. Shots are 24-8. Cats through center. Tommy Blyle's over the blue line. Wow, that puck stood up, would not cooperate, rolling a bit, just enough to induce the offside at the blue line. 1:17 to go, and that's about the time left in the period on the power play.
Well, this power play's got a bunch of weapons, like we mentioned. Gabe Smith and Nico Turnus tied for the top in power play goals, but Teddy Mutrin as well. He's a big contributor on that power play. He's currently third amongst rookies in goals at 28 in the QMJHL. A tremendous season he's having in his own right, and a big part of the success of this power play.
Off the flip, well, there's a high flip that may have reached the clock or just under. Wild vision here at the Avenir. Tom Blyle through center. Gabe Smith now. He'll drop it to Tommy Blyle on the wing off the boards. Coming down the wing, Nico Turnus. Teddy Mutrin follows up. He'll leave it there for Desnoyers. Back to Blyle. Just about connecting at the blue line. Desnoyers will continue inside that blue paint. Desnoyers in front. One-timer drive, and that one off the left arm of Hamel. Nico Turnus got it up high. Smith in front to Turnus, deflected in front. Turnus back to the blue line to Tommy Blyle. Blyle, Turnus is open, and it's just a rip back to the blue line wide. Blyle is there. Turnus 41 on the year, 2 on Sunday. Mutrin back to Desnoyers. There's the shot, deflected wide. Kept in by Moncton. 25 seconds to go in the period and the power play. Blyle in front, tipped by Mutrin. Hamel stayed with it on the pad save. They jam up on the boards with 15 seconds to go. 6-7 players. Mutrin centers it. There's a drive. Wow. Off the netting. That was Turnus again. He's been going high on Hamel. Not connecting, but certainly not for lack of effort. Nico Turnus, 41 goals on the year.
Well, he had a couple chances, like you said, on that last power play possession there in the O zone, and he gets a one-time opportunity, almost 2 of them, I believe. But that last one there, Hamel, we've spoke about it, Marty. You can barely see that thing, and Hamel just tries to get over there, take up as much room as possible, and he gets one off the elbow there. And then that last one gets it in front, tries to go short side right under the bar, but ends up getting it deflected up and out of play.
9.4 seconds remaining. It's still a power play for 8 seconds. The Cats have it in behind the Cape Breton net. Cornforth in the corner, wrapped around on the boards. Depaty's going to keep it in. There's the shot. Whoa! Knocked down in front, dribbling in the blue paint. And luckily the horn went, ending the second period. Moncton out shooting the Cape 25-8. How about 18-4 in that second period? Here's JR.
By the Moncton Wildcats, 18-18 for a 2-period total of 25 that side. And by the Cape Breton Eagles, 4 cut for a 2-period total of 8.
All right. Strong period by the Cats, Aiden. Before we get to Brittany Nicholson with the NB Organ and Tissue program, your thoughts on the second period?
Well, like we've said, a complete 180 for the second period, Marty. The group came out ready to go offensively and made some damage there. They didn't get a goal like they did in the last period, but you can just tell as the game went along, as you can see, Cape Breton only had a total of 8 shots through 2. I mean, if you were to look at this one at the start of the game and say you're only going to give up 8 shots against through 2 periods, you'd like where you're at, and unfortunately the score doesn't reflect that one, but a great period by the Moncton Wildcats.
No scoring in that period. To your point, 18-4. Moncton out shooting the Cape 25-8. First period goals by Cape Breton, Klaus and Boilard. Tommy Blyle for your Cats, 13th of the year, from Caleb Desnoyers and Adam Fortier-Gendron. When we come back after this break, Brittany Nicholson is here from the New Brunswick Organ and Tissue program. That's the theme for tonight, the awareness and a great opening ceremony and puck drop here at the Avenir Center. Cats down by 1, badly out shooting the Cape. Marty Kingston here at the Avenir, Wildcats hockey on FloHockey TV. Thank you, Fish. Welcome back to the Avenir Center on Cats Radio, Inspire FM 105.1, Moncton, Dieppe, Riverview. Great to have Brittany Nicholson here. Good to see you.
Thank you for having us.
You're good friends of Brian Fisher, I see that.
He's been my neighbor, when I was a child, since I've been 1 till the time I moved out.
Has he been a good neighbor?
Yes, he has been a great neighbor. I think a great neighbor. State Farm is there.
That's great. Listen, welcome. A great ceremony to get the game going. New Brunswick organ and tissue program, none more important. There's a lot of them out there, man, but this one's big. Tell us about your involvement with it and how things are going generally, Brittany.
Things are great. We're seeing great momentum. We're getting out into the community more. We're getting really great feedback from everyone. And it's such an incredible cause. It's near and dear to my heart especially. I've had organ donors in my family. I've had organ donor recipients in my family.
Wow.
So this really does touch to me personally. But I think it's such an incredible program, and just having the opportunity to come out and share the cause and share why we're here. And, it's nice to be able to partner, especially with the Wildcats, because, we do partner a lot with you guys for Green Shirt Day. And
yes,
that's kind of in part what we're trying to do here. We do it a little bit early. And for those that don't know, Green Shirt Day really resulted from the Logan Boulet effect. If you remember the Humboldt Broncos crash,
yes,
that happened in 2018. Unfortunately, Logan lost his life in that event, but he was so inspired by past mentor Rick Suggett, and he said, he became an organ donor. He had an aneurysm. He was like, that really moved him. And he talked to his parents and like, well, the likelihood of you becoming an organ donor is, we're not going to have to think about that in our lifetime. But he's like, if that ever happened, that is something I would want.
Wow.
And so that one conversation that one person had has such a large impact. And, unfortunately, he did lose his life, but he saved, I believe it was 6 other people. So that is a massive impact. That's Christmases and birthdays and time spent with families. And then his family posted about this, and it's not a topic that we really discuss much.
No.
Death in itself is a hard topic for a lot of people to talk about, but if we dispel those myths and those rumors and we're quick to say, I'd want to be buried, I'd want to be cremated, we should think about it in that same light, that we do need to have those hard conversations with our family members.
Well, the feeling is, I have mine signed. I think is it still in the back of the license? I'd have to check.
On your Medicare card.
Medicare card, there it is.
D.
Yes, thank you.
There is a little capital D if you've registered, so you can always check on there, and you can contact SMB or you can go down to Service New Brunswick and they can make those changes. And but the most important thing is that you have that conversation with your family.
You make an excellent point about we talk about the end of life part so often. And you're not alone if it's giving blood, which is a constant education to people, and the misconceptions and the myth about giving blood, painless now.
Yes,
I'm up to 25 or 30. I go when I can, but I have to be reminded to go. And it's good that the reminders come. Now, I know it's education all about NB organ and tissue. It's continuously reminding folks this is a good thing, and please sign up.
And we work actually closely with Canadian Blood Services.
Yes.
They're a major lobbyist for us, and they champion our cause.
They're amazing.
They're amazing. So they're great supporters for us. And, going back to Logan Boulet, just that one conversation that he had with his family, them posting about that on social media, it resulted in 150,000 people in the following week signing up to be organ donors. So that's why we do celebrate Green Shirt Day in memory of him and that one conversation and the power of change that enacted. And that's what we're trying to do here, is what we're trying to keep that conversation going. Keep that in people's minds, and it can be hard discussions, and we know that, but there's resources out there for you. We have our website, but we also have the Orgamites, because what if you did have a sibling or a mother or a father that needed a transplant? How do you discuss that with children? And those can be hard topics. So Canadian Blood Services has created an amazing resource called the Orgamites. Highly suggest going on the website. They're very cute, and it's not anything graphic. It's just about what are organs, why are they important, and why do I need them to survive, and knowing that I can give to other people, and that altruistic state is so important to be teaching our children. And I think it's a second language to my children at home at this point, and they're 7, and they could probably read this off just as well as I can.
My 2 sons are older, but I have had the conversation with them, and I believe they're signed up as well. Kids and young people, that's not a topic of mine.
No. Right?
They're busy with their lives and getting things going, their careers, and moving around the country and getting families started, not a topic that is often discussed.
No, it's not something that comes up at the dinner conversations.
Not hard to access, though, as you pointed out.
No, it's not. There is so many resources. Canadian Blood Services has a lot of them. There's the Leave Well campaign. That's what they've coined, and so you can always go onto their website too and see how to register to be a donor, but also to what does it mean? What are those misconceptions? You know, we frequently hear from people, oh, well, I would never be considered an organ donor. I'm a diabetic, or I'm a smoker, and you know what? Those actually don't preclude you from organ donation.
There's a lot of moving parts in the bodies that we walk around in, and anything from the eyes going down. Well, you name it. I wouldn't know where to begin, but
one person that is a donor has the potential to save 8 lives. They have the potential to enhance 75 lives through tissue donations.
Wow.
So that would be used for traumas and surgeries. So you'll hear some people get like bone grafts in their jaw. That all comes from our program. And then there's the gift of sight that we can give. So, there's 2 people that can regain sight from this. So that's a huge impact from just one discussion, one person.
Brittany, would there be a provincial target or goal that you're trying to reach? I'm just wondering, provincially, I hate to ask the question, out of 850,000 New Brunswickers and 900,000, how many are signed up?
So
not enough, numbers, obviously.
No, and there's a lot right now that are just unlisted. So the numbers of registered yes and no, they kind of fluctuate between like 30% each, but there's still a large target demographic that haven't even registered their intent. So that's who we want to reach. The choice is yours. You have the choice to say yes or no, and no one is going to take that away from you. The choice is that we just want to know, and we want you to have that discussion with your family, and that there's an informed consent that goes with that.
Interesting. My new Medicare card arrived, I would say, a month ago. I can't recall if a reminder came with that on paper or not. Is that something that's now included?
It's an auto renewal at this time. It's something that we are looking into with the Department of Health to look at other ways of engaging communities. And we're actually performing research right now on marginalized populations and their knowledge and perceptions as it pertains to organ donation, because it can look vastly different to them. So how do we include them in these conversations? How do we make sure that everyone feels included and has that choice? So that's what we're trying to do.
And the pregame ceremony with Mr. Sims, that was amazing.
Yeah.
He has saved countless lives.
Countless lives. It's a selfless act that he did, and he's a hero in our eyes. And every organ donor that we have, every tissue donor and ocular donor, it makes such a massive impact. And we have a beautiful medal ceremony every year to honor those that have gone through donation. And his father will also be honored once again and be given a medal to that. And they get to talk to other people that have gone through it. But it's such a selfless thing. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't talk about it because we don't hear about it that often. It's very little amounts of the population that would ever become a donor. So those conversations usually only happen when presented with the opportunity. So that's why getting out and talking about it and engaging with everyone that we can to say, we are here, don't forget about us, but have these tough conversations. And then that way, if it is ever presented to your family, they know your choices, they know your wishes, and then having your legacy live on. And that's what Matt was telling me today. He's like, knowing that my dad is still living on in others.
That would be amazing.
It is, and it's such a selfless act, but it's such a beautiful thing that he did.
Well, everybody's thinking organs, but to your point on tissue, I mean, our bodies are completely covered in tissue, used in different parts. I don't even know where to go with that.
Tendons is what we procure in this province. In some other provinces, they'll do skin, but ours is bones and tendons. And you'll see them. We'll hear people say, "Oh, I had an ACL repair." Well, a lot of those times, that's actually our grafts.
Right.
So those are from cadavers.
Again, misconceptions, right?
Yeah. So it's such an important thing that we just don't think about. So that's why we always are amazed to have this partnership with you guys and be able to come out and have these discussions and keep it at the forefront of people's minds. And I know that it really does help families too, and having their story shared once again, and the amazing work that has gone on with those families to get here, like, it means a lot.
Oh, well, anything from liver, heart, kidney transplants, it goes on and on. The list is endless, but it's great awareness. Great that you made it in, Brittany. I really appreciate you coming in. Great having you on Wildcats Hockey.
Yes,
are you a regular fan?
I am a regular fan, and unfortunately a Leafs fan right now, but yes. Yeah.
Well, I know I'm a Habs fan, but it's still, I'd like to see Toronto. I'm sorry. We were watching the game the other night. It was a fundraiser for the Peter McKee, actually, at the Chris Rock in Moncton here. But again, thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you for having us.
Continued success with the awareness part. It's so important to get it out there now, especially with different social media platforms. How do you hit the most number of people in one time? What are your media reaches there? Social media, obviously.
Social media, we there is taglines that go along with Green Shirt Day, and it's register to be a donor, Green Shirt Day, and those momentums is what inspired 150,000 Canadians to register. One post, that's all it took.
Amazing.
So that massive impact is there, and it just takes one person to say, I'm a registered donor. I believe in the cause. And it's a personal choice. Not everyone wants to make it, but it's a beautiful thing when it transpires, and it saves countless lives and takes our wait list down, so we're very happy about this.
It's amazing. Brittany, thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much for having me.
Brittany Nicholson here at the Avenir. It's NB Organ and Tissue theme night. It was an amazing opening ceremony tonight honoring Mr. Sims, and thank Brittany for coming into our intermission. Second period, by the way, it's still a 2-1 Cape Breton lead. Marty and Brittany from the Avenir Center on FloHockey TV. Welcome back to the Avenir Center. Marty Kingston here with Craig Eagles. Great chat with Brittany Nicholson regarding NB Organ and Tissue Donor Program. Just amazing. The Humboldt Broncos a big part of that, and on and on. Okay, to the hockey game itself, different period. Second totally flipping. Moncton getting the offense gearing, and Hamel looking good.
Well, Hamel's standing on his head, and really, Marty, it's all about just bringing that intensity. And when you're fighting it, which both teams have been fighting it a little bit in that second stanza, you really have to bring that intensity and ramp it up a little bit.
There it is, yeah. The Cornforth having a strong game. The Cat defenses trying to keep that puck in. Cape Breton's doing all they can. And it looks like a playoff game in terms of the physicality out there. Referee letting it go on both ends, I would think.
No question. And Cape has done very, very well tonight, getting in shooting lanes and passing lanes. So games like this, you got to find a way, right? You got to find a way to tie it up, and then really let your skill and your depth take over if you're the Moncton Wildcats.
Appreciate your comments on the second period, my friend. We'll see you next Saturday. Are you coming to Newfoundland, by the way?
No.
Okay.
Safe travels.
Thank you.
And as the season winds down here, thanks again for the opportunity to come on. It's a great showcase for my work and what we do at Neutral Zone. I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for coming on. I appreciate your commentary all season long.
Thanks, Marty.
We'll keep it going. Thank you very much. Craig Eagles and Marty here at the Avenir. Third period, a couple of minutes away. Cape Breton leading 2-1. Moncton out shooting them 25-8. Wildcats hockey from the Avenir Center on FloHockey TV. Welcome back, everybody, to the Avenir Center. An update from the Aitken Center. UNB 3, Les Aigles Bleus, Université de Moncton 1, 16 to go in the third period. Thank you, Brian Fisher, for that. Aiden Glendenning, we're back on the third period. Moncton, strong second period. 25-8 are the shots. Are we going to tie this game up?
Well, you'd like to think so, right? There was a tough go in the first period where they had one shot just over 15 minutes through that opening frame. They bounced back in the second, putting up a total of 18 in that period. And these guys look ready to go here as they need to push in this third to not only tie this game up, but try and retake the lead and get as many points as they possibly can. We spoke on it a bit here earlier in the broadcast, but they're 1 point back of Chicoutimi. Chicoutimi's game just starting now, I believe, still not at zeros between them and Shawinigan. So every point is important here, and for the Cats, you got to be thinking you got to get two.
Yeah, the Saguenay do have one on the board. It's one period over in Shawinigan, and they lead the Cataracts 1-0. Rowena Randa leading Rimouski 3-0 after one, and it's a 2-0 Armada lead over the Baie-Comeau Drakkar. Third period is underway. 2-1 here at the Avenir. Cape Breton leading it. The Eagles skating left to right. Brady Flynn, number 2 on defense. Throws it to Jettleson. Long pass at the Moncton bench. It'll hit the linesman's skate. Bouncing around just inside the Cat blue line. Battling. Lyle across to Fauquier-Gendron. Nice move on the incoming Eagle. There's a nice pass to Cornforth on the right side. Full stop. Cornforth wisely back in behind the net to Teddy Mutrin. Mutrin centers one. Bickley awkwardly couldn't take it, but did get it back to the blue line. Valen, with a man in his face, will throw it in the corner. Bickley knocked off the puck. McCullough and Mutrin in the corner. Mutrin, puck knocked off his stick. Cape Breton does the high flip across center. Third period underway. Eagles 8 shots, Moncton 25. It's a 2-1 Eagles lead here at the Avenir Center. Game 60, one home game to go. Next Saturday, 4 o'clock, Fan Appreciation Day, and the outgoing Wildcats will be honored. Long stretch pass by Depati, not connecting. It's down the ice, and that will be icing on the play. 18:37 to go. Again, we should repeat, I guess, Aiden, what Tommy Blyle is accomplishing. He needs one assist to become the all-time assist leader for 1 year on defense, currently tied with David Savard at 64. But the goal moves him into second place, just behind Keith Yandel in terms of total points. Yandel 84 and Blyle now 77. I think I have those numbers correctly. 13th on the year for Tommy Blyle. Mercier comes over the line, puts the brakes on in the corner. Desnoyers. Cornforth back to Mercier. There's the drive. Blocked in front. Desnoyers looking for a rebound. Mercier getting a shot away. Blocked in front. Caden Kelly gets it out to center. Mercier getting it across to Max Belen. Number 2 rips it in from center. 2-1 Eagles. 8 shots only. It'll squirt back to the blue line. Valenius along the wall. Desnoyers trying to get away from the pursuing Eagles in the corner. Cornforth with De La Dudante coming through center. He'll step over the red line and throw it in. Takes a parting hit from both Cornforth and Desnoyers in between the benches. Here comes Veronin through center. Gabe Smith takes a long pass. He's over the Cape blue line, cuts to the middle. Smith throwing it in the corner to Chudzinski. McCullough bodies him into the boards. Chudzinski trying to get free. Joining the crowd, Veronin chipped back to the blue line. Matt Virgilio back out there now with a full cage. Good to see him out there, number 15. Took that shot in the facial area. A long stretch pass through center, directed into the zone. And that apparently is icing on the play. 17:20 to go in the third. If you're just tuning in, 2-1 Eagles after one. No scoring in the second, but Moncton did outshoot them 18-4.
Yeah, Marty, and during the intermission, I went down to the concourse and someone had asked me if I felt that Virgilio would be back in this one after taking that puck up high. I told him no question. Virgilio, he's a warrior out there, and as you can see now, he's out there with the full cage on, making sure he can contribute for his hockey club.
Kuzma Veronin down the left side, over the Cape Breton blue line, tried an extra mover 3, intercepted in the corner. It's chipped back to the blue line, and Cape Breton with the puck in the center ice area. Trzynski coming back. I'll tell you, it's not for lack of effort or hard work. The Cats have done everything but tie this game. Here's Trzynski moving in. There's the drive. Hamel stick save on a one-on-one shot. Talented 20-year-old goaltender Rudy Guimard closing the door. 8 shots only. Brady Flynn behind the net, swings around from Binkley through center. Pass did not connect. It'll go to Fortier-Jean-Dedon. Nico Turnus comes down as off wing. Turnus swings in behind the net, centers one in front. White sweaters only, intercepted by Moncton. It's a battle with that puck just inside the blue line. Gentleson for the Cape, through center. Cats have it now on the wing. Binkley off the boards, looking for Teddy Mutrin. Mutrin puts on the brakes. In behind the net to Nico Turnus. A lot of man-to-man coverage out there. Cats trying to fight off the coverage and get open. Puck shot out to center. Cape Breton, Gentleson tried to come out, lost it. It'll be Nico Turnus on the wing, looking for Mutrin in front. Intercepted. 81 Laverdière now. 15:58 to go. It's a 2-1 Cape Breton lead. 8 shots only for the Cape. Tommy Blyle comes out of his own zone, runs down the boards quickly, surrounded by 2 Eagles. Shot in from center by Binkley. Wide of Hamel. In behind the net with 2 assists in the game, Jacob de La Durante from Gatineau, Quebec. They fire it in from center. Guimard stops at behind the net. Depatie giving it to Max Bolen in the Cats corner. Dishing it on the wing to the speedy Mercier. Mercier's over the line. Mercier tied up on the boards to Cornforth. Cornforth spins off a check back to the blue line. Knocks it into the corner. Looking for Mutrin and Desnoyers. And Cape Breton comes back. Sliding one through the neutral zone. Will that go to Rudy Guimard? It will. Guimard throws a long pass up the wing. That'll be icing on Rudy Guimard. He was trying to spring a winger loose. 15:02. You don't see that often. Icing on Moncton. It remains a 2-1 Cape Breton lead. Face off in the Cat zone to the right of Rudy Guimard. Don't forget, we're on the air Saturday night, 6:30 p.m. Atlantic time. Cats and Regiment at the Mary Browns in St. John's. There's a long high wrist shot from the blue line, easily tracked by Guimard. His 35 wins are number 1 in the CHL, by the way, tied with, I think, Easton Rye from the Peterborough Petes, I believe, in that category.
Well, for Rudy Guimard, Marty, it's all about trying to stay dialed in the ways he can. I know as soon as he came in, he's only faced a total of, I believe, 5 shots in this one from coming in the first period. So, especially late down one, you got to try and stay sharp as best as you can.
2-1 battling the Eagles. Cats trying to tie it up. 35 wins by Guimard. 14:47 to go. Cape Breton slips it back in the Cats' corner. Eagles are 27, 21, 3-9. At the blue line for the Eagles, they feed it back in behind Guimard's net. Elliot L'Italien steps out the other side, back to Boilard. He'll turn and fire with a man in front wide, and it came off the glass really hot and bounced back in front of the net. Lyle behind the net to Valenius. Long pass up the middle, on the money. Riley Sampson's over the line. Sampson dishing it off. Blyle in front. Lounsbury can't get the shot away. Knocked down as he shot. Back to the blue line to Blyle. Blyle's going to turn. He'll chip one over to Fortier-Jean-Dedon. He'll get by one man. Wow, a pretty good grab there by Kelly. Fortier-Jean-Dedon in the corner. Lounsbury pinned along the boards by Holomego, 14. They're on the wards battling in the Cape Breton zone. Sampson, Fortier-Jean-Dedon, Lounsbury, stolen by Riley Sampson. Sampson up the boards, leaving it in behind the net to Robertson Palmer. Palmer comes out the other side, leaving it for Riley Sampson. Back in behind the net to Lounsbury. That's a penalty on the play. Well, they got one. Lounsbury could not get to that puck. Grabbed, I believe. The stick went down, and referee Mo LeBlanc right there. 13:39 to go in the third period. Doors are open for a timeout here. The Cats will go to a power play for Crown Plaza and Baton Rouge. We're back with more exciting Wildcats hockey. Cats on the power play on FloHockey TV.
sprinkled, drizzled, or straight up. There's a million ways to eat Cavendish Farms fries, but only one way to make them. The right way. Cavendish Farms fries. Made our way. Enjoyed your way.
Back to live action face-off to the right of goaltender Hamel. Moncton gets the draw on the power play. Tommy Blyle gives it to Nico Turnus, back to Blyle. Moncton power play, front to Mutrin, deflected off Kupek, that almost got by. Desnoyers in the corner. Desnoyers quickly back to the blue line to Blyle, to Desnoyers. Desnoyers at the goal line. Gabe Smith in front, blocked in front, they score! They're going to wave it off. High stick, says referee Mo LeBlanc. Immediately waving that down. It happened very quickly. The rebound came to Gabe Smith, and a one baseball swing put that puck in by goaltender Hamel.
Well, the refs will quickly go to the iPads here to double check this one. At first glance, Marty, this one looks like it should count from all the way up here. It seemed like Gabe Smith had that puck, or that stick, well below the crossbar and even his shoulders. Ends up throwing it on net. It gets blocked by Kupek and bounces up high there, and Gabe Smith able to knock that one out of midair. It's a bit close here from the angles that we're seeing, and we'll get a side view here to maybe get a better look at it as that one gets bounced up and Gabe Smith knocks it. Just depends where that hit on his stick, I guess, Marty, and where the crossbar was at in reference. But at those angles, it does look like it might be a little bit too high there, but we'll see what they say, and they'll elect it to be no goal after the review.
Yeah, they're going to wave it off. Gardner McDougall gesturing to referee LeBlanc. It looked about shoulders to me, but different angles. Gabe Smith picked up the rebound, put it in, and they're ruling it high stick. Referee LeBlanc now going over to talk to Coach Gardner McDougall. Moncton out shooting the Cape 26-10. If you're just tuning in, the Eagles, they only have one win over the Cats this year. They'd love to make it two. And they've been hanging on, led by Felix Hamel in goal. Still a 1-0 lead, Chicoutimi at Shawinigan after one.
Yeah, that first angle, it looked like it was good from a bit up above perspective, but once you got ice level there, you could see it kind of looked a bit high there, and the refs gave a great description to Gardner McDougall, and we'll play on.
Off the face-off, 13-14 to go in the third. There's a dégagement, as we'd say, by Cape Breton. Tom Blyle's in behind Rudy Guimond. 1:27 to go in the Cat power play. Holame goes off for Cape Breton. Blyle sliding it across the blue line to Gabe Smith. Back to Tommy Blyle. Blyle shifting. Nice move along the boards. Being pursued by D'Italien. Turnus, top of the circle, Desnoyers. Desnoyers now full stop. Looks around. Desnoyers at the side of the net. Smith in front. Mutrin scores! Power play goal! Teddy Mutrin! 2-2. That one coming at 7:19. Great work by Gabe Smith. Mutrin parked at the right post and tapped it in. Might not have gone on the first time. The second crack it did. Cats are on the board, tying it up at 2-2. Again, 7:19, time of the goal. Assurance Bienot.
Well, that's going to be the 29th for Teddy Mutrin, and it was only a matter of time, Marty. They had tried going down low, cross crease there a multiple amount of times, and it eventually finds the stick of Teddy Mutrin, and the persistence to keep whacking away at that rebound and make sure that one crosses the goal line. It was tough. They had one waved off just the shift prior. They bounced back with some determination to tie this game up, and who else but Teddy Mutrin getting his 29th on the season. What an impressive rookie year he's having in the QMJHL.
Power play goal by Crown Plaza and Baton Rouge. Shots are 28-10. It was a power play goal by the Cats. Question is, did Tommy Blyle get an assist? Here's JR. 2-2. Eagles bringing it over the Cat blue line, thrown to the front of the net. Fortier-Gendron steps out. Great puck-carrying defenseman. Chudzinski to Lounsbury. Bouncing puck. Yeah, Denmoyer Gabe Smith will be setting up Mutrin on that one. Power play goal. We have a 2-2 tie. 28-10 the shots. Here come the Eagles through center. They arrive at the Moncton bench. Hartland rips it in around the boards. It goes. Back in behind the net, Sautier. Fortier-Gendron's there. Preston Lounsbury. Nice pass on the wing. Chudzinski down the right side. Flips it into the corner of Simon Binkley. Wrapped around the boards. It'll get by Valen and Kelly, but back there is Evan Depatie in the Cat zone. Through center. Here come the Cats. Max Valen stepping back in behind Rudy Guimont. Tying goal, Teddy Mutrin power play from Gabe Smith and Caleb Desnoyers. 2-2. Time of that one, 7:19. Chipped in by Cape Breton from center. Valen's in the corner. Good reverse behind the net. Depatie around the boards to Cornforth. Depatie again doing it the other side under pressure. Valen up the wing. All right, Mercier coming out as off wing. Cuts to the middle. Looking for Cornforth in the corner. Gavin Cornforth. Eagles poke check him and they come through center. Three of them down the right side. Kelly knocks one to Rudy Guimont. He will hold on quickly with the arrival of L'Italien and Caden Kelly. 11:02 to go.
Well, Caleb Desnoyers is going to get an assist on that one, Marty, and that'll extend his assist streak here now to 7 games. And what an impressive season he's having after coming off wrist surgery. Coming into this one, he led the Q with a 1.78 points per game, and that's his 72nd point there. And only, I believe, this is his 41st game of the season here this evening. So just an absolute tear the captain's been going on here as of late, and he's doing a really great job leading the way by example.
Lyle from Desnoyers and Fortier-Gendron. Teddy Mutrin power play. 29th from Gabe Smith and Caleb Desnoyers. Off the face-off, it'll roll to Guimont. He'll hold on. 10:58 to go. Let's have a look at the attendance figures here. I believe we're over 4,000 for a Thursday night game. How about 4,700? Well over 4,000. Good support, good crowd in the second last home game of the regular season. Cape Newfoundland Regiment for 2 at the Mary Browns. That'll be a rockin' building Saturday night and Sunday afternoon. Puck shot in from the blue line by Brady Flynn off of Ronan, ends up in the crowd. 10:53 to go. Our producer Adam McLaren is standing by. Good evening, Adam. After the game, the Subaru Moncton postgame show featuring the Subaru hardest worker, 3 game stars, and much more around the Q. We'll keep an eye on that Chicoutimi game. They still lead 1-0 early second at Shawinigan. Fortier-Gendron behind the net to Tommy Blyle. Cats bust out very nicely. Veronin through center. One man to beat. Comes in front to Gabe Smith. Couldn't pull the trigger on that. It's centered. Veronin keeps it in. Smith battling with Robertson Palmer. Loose puck in the slot area in the Cape Breton zone. They just do the high chip shot to center. Big crowd in that neutral zone. Pried away by Veronin again. There's the shot. Pad save Hamel. Good play to shoot with that D in front of you. And Hamel again kicks it out. Tom Blyle will bank it off the Wildcat bench to the Cape Breton blue line. Intercepted by Veronin. Kept in by Nico Turnus. Turnus in the corner. Looking for Veronin on the give and go. Intercepted by the Cape. Jettleson through center. Blyle picks that off. He'll get one across the blue line to Gabe Smith. Smith will drop it back to Turnus. Turnus cuts to the front of the net. Poke checked at the last second. He does that very well. And good back checking out through center, Nico Turnus. Valenius across to Tom Blyle, quickly up the wall. Here comes Binkley coming in. Couldn't get the shot away. Binkley's in the corner. 9:43 to go with a 2-2 tie. Jammed up on the boards in the Cape Breton zone. Binkley, Turnus, and 3 Eagles. Cape Breton comes up the boards. They now have it at center, and they chip it in the Moncton zone. Wellenius with Hartland. In behind Guimont goes. Virgilio is there. Matt Virgilio up on the boards to Turnus. Lovely outlet pass. Simon Binkley through center. Binkley ran into a Cape Breton player. Teddy Mutrin swings back. He'll give it to Eric Wellenius. Up on the wing to Binkley once again. Nice move by Binkley. Cuts to some open ice. Can he get the shot away? Cornforth a drive. Wide on the glove side. Great work by Simon Binkley. Mutrin's in the corner, tied up. Loose puck does squirt loose to Cornforth. He'll come up the right side. He'll throw one in the slot. There's Mercier. Drive right into Hamel. A quick wrist shot by Mercier. 27 goals on the year. Big crowd now at the linesman. While they're making Hamel make the saves tonight. 8:53 to go. It's 2-2.
Well, exactly, Marty. They're up to a total of 30 shots on goal here with 8 minutes to go. And Hamel's been the story. He's made a multiple of game-saving saves, and some in the second period where he was down and out and making them with the paddle. He's been absolutely tremendous for this hockey club. Like I've spoke, he hasn't had many wins here this season against the Wildcats, but every time he makes it tough on them, as 5 out of the 7 matchups have been decided by only 1 goal.
4,700 on hand. Good support, good crowds. Wildcats 1 point back of Chicoutimi. Cats defending the Jean Rougeau Trophy, of course, and the Gilles Courteau Trophy as league champions last year. 53-win season and a big long winning streak going into the playoffs last year. If you'll remember, puck jammed to the Moncton corner. Both Moncton D's are there with 2 Eagles. Front of the net, Mercier defending. Desnoyers Cornforth as well. In behind the net, Villaine comes up the boards. He'll give it to Mercier. Bit of room to work with now. Mercier on the boards. To Cornforth just ahead of him and chipped off the wall out to center by the Cape Breton club. Depatie back to Max Villaine. Villaine, nice play on the wall. Mercier takes that pass. Mercier in the corner. Cornforth steps out of the corner in front to Desnoyers. Good little play, intercepted though, kept in by Desnoyers. On the boards, Cape Breton brings it out through center. Jettleson carries it in. He'll fire it in. Jettleson from Mount Kisco, New York. Thrown into the corner. Cornforth and Fortier Gendron trying to get that puck. They do. Max Villaine poke checked. Fortier Gendron. Good reverse by Moncton's veteran. Wiley. Max Villaine in the corner. Up on the boards to Lounsbury. Shot out to center. 7:34 to go with a 2-2 tie. Shots are 30-12. Wildcats. Long shot by McCullough from the wing. Blocked. Sautier's battling Villaine behind the net. Riley Sampson along the boards. Kept in by the Cape. Back to the blue line. Shot wide of Guimont intentionally. Fortier Gendron around the boards. Lounsbury is there. The high flip out to center. Graydon Robertson Palmer. Whoa. Trying to get by La Durante. 7 minutes remaining. Puck at center. It'll come loose. Picking it up on the run. Fortier Gendron knocked off the puck. He'll get it back and continue over the blue line. Being bothered by Peitsch. It'll come in front of the net. There's a drive by Blyle. Just wide. He walked into that loose puck and had to get it away quickly. Wide on the blocker side. Cape Breton through center. Long stretch pass. Directed and no icing. Guimont to Blyle. Around the boards. Jasinski is there. And the door opened up in the corner at the back of the rink. A bit of a late hit. Romeo and Tommy Blyle. Door popped open. It has a tendency to do that down there. Just below the Midland sign. We have a 2-2 tie. Minor scrum. Veteran Romeo. All right.
For Romeo, he's been absolutely leading the way there, with Louis Gendron, the captain of the Eagles, out. And Romeo's currently on a 4-game goal streak. And he hasn't had one yet in this one, but obviously a player you're going to want to keep your eye on if you're the Moncton Wildcats heading down the stretch in this one, as you don't want to give him any open looks.
2-2 tie, 6:36 to go. Marty Kingston, Aidan Glendenning here at the Avenir Center. Free night on FloHockey TV, YouTube as well. Welcome everybody to an exciting game. Veronen's coming down the boards. Double teamed by 2 Eagles. Jasinski. It'll go to Veronen in the corner to Gabe Smith. Smith back to the blue line. Valenius across the paint quickly. Depatie at the net. Knocked down in front by Cape Breton. Up they come down the left side. They'll hit center and chip it in the Cats' corner. 6:10 to go. Guimont throws it around the boards. Gabe Smith getting wound up. Kept in at the blue line by Laverdiere. Laverdiere will center it. Rolling puck into the corner. Pilling is there. He'll get it back to Laverdiere. Jasinski comes out of the corner with a good head of steam. Veronen now through center. He'll give it in front of the net. Give and go. Deflected into the corner. Jasinski open briefly. Veronen in the corner battling. Gabe Smith reversing it behind the net to Jasinski. He'll come out of the corner with the puck. Ryan Jasinski back to the blue line. Kept in by Villaine. It's loose to the front of the net. Cape Breton man to man. Are they watching the Cats very closely? Back to the blue line, Max Villaine. There's the drive. Scores! They're waving it off. High stick. We'll have to wait and see. Mo LeBlanc, the referee, right there saying high stick off Chudzinski. They're going to celebrate anyway. Will it be a 3-2 Moncton lead? 5:23 to go. I didn't see it happen too quickly, Aiden. Let's have a look.
Well, that was just such a tenacious effort by that line, Marty, and they end up eventually getting it back to the point to Valen, and he chucks one on net, and it's Ryan Chudzinski there as he crosses center ice there in the slot, and he'll get a stick on this one as we get the side view there. It's a little bit out of frame for our look, so we can't really give you an assumption on what we think this will be, but the officials are down there with the iPads. They've got the headsets on, and we're going to get a look here on Wild Vision. It doesn't look too bad from our vantage point, Marty. I don't know what your thoughts are on this one, but I believe that one should count. We'll see.
I can't pick up the point of the puck hitting the stick. We're watching replays. Chudzinski charging to the front of the net from the corner and got a stick on that on the way by, but I did not see the puck go off the stick. We don't have the right angle or the right camera look here.
I just don't see any point where that stick goes over the shoulders of Chudzinski, and Chudzinski, he's not that tall of a guy, so I can't see how this one would be a high stick, but albeit these guys down at the booth there will have way more angles than we have.
All right, a shot at the Wildcat bench down there. 5:23 to go in the third period. Moncton out shooting the Cape 30-12. Referee Mo LeBlanc immediately waved off the goal, but again, folks, we did not get a good look on that play. Let's have a look around the queue while they discuss down there at the penalty box area. Still 1-0 Chicoutimi, 14 to go in the second at Shawinigan. Victo leading Quebec Ramparts 1-0. It is a good goal. Ryan Chudzinski is in the but. Tip in goal. 14:37.
Well, Marty, that's going to be Ryan Chudzinski's 20th of the season, and what a campaign he's had for this group in his rookie year in the QMJHL. 20-goal year is nothing to really brush off. He's been a tenacious force all year long on the forecheck for this group. A big part of why that puck ends up getting back to the point there to Valen, and a great tip by Chudzinski crossing through the slot, and this team's got a 3-2 lead with 5:23 to go in the third period.
Tremendous work ethic from Needham Mass. 6'1", 190, Ryan Chudzinski. Tips are in. Here's JR.
Ryan Chudzinski. Assisté by number 2 avec l'aide du numéro 2, Max Phelan. And number 9, Gabe Smith.
Smith and Valen setting up. All right, the penalty box door is open again. I don't know if somebody called a timeout. Oh, they're coming out of the back of the rink here at the Avenir. We'll take a 30-second pause, Mr. Producer Adam McLaren. Chudzinski gives the Cats the lead, 3-2. Third period action here at the Avenir Center on a free night on FloHockey TV.
The Maritimes, our home, a land unlike any other. But our weather can be unpredictable, creating some challenging driving conditions. At Coast, we know all about that. Maritime strong for over 70 years. So we know the importance of proper tires on our roads, especially in winter. Coast is your year-round destination for tires, wheels, auto repair, oil changes, and a whole lot more. Shop tires and book auto service at coast.ca. Coast, moving you forward.
4:57 to go. Chudzinski for Max Valen and Gabe Smith. 14:37. Moncton up 3-2 with 31 shots on net. Eagles 12 at Jacoby Weiner and Rudy Guimont. Down the ice, Cape Breton pass not connecting. That'll be icing on the play. Moncton at St. John's to battle the Newfoundland Regiment. Saturday night, 6:30 p.m. Atlantic time. Sunday, 3:30 Atlantic time. We're still deciding if that time is in reverse or the other way, but the times I'm giving you are the broadcast times here. Hayden Glendenning, Moncton up by a goal. It's been quite a battle. Face off to the left of Hamel, off the face-off. Binkley tried to get a shot away. Hampered would be a mild way of putting it. Kept in by Blyle. Tornis knocked down behind the net. Pulls away from Sautier. Battling number 88. Tornis number 86 up on the wall to Klaus. Good little outlet pass. Jacob Hartland through center. Wristing one in wide of Guimont. Big bounce in front of the net. Fortier-Gendron's there. Up on the wing to Simon Binkley. Binkley through center. Great skater with a great shot. Binkley will come in at the left point pass to Fortier-Gendron. Feeding it in behind the net to Mutrin. Spins off Aiden McCullough. Binkley is there. Back to Teddy Mutrin. Back to the blue line. Blyle across the paint. Moving in Fortier-Gendron. Can he get the shot away off the chest of Hamel? Just below the mask. Good shot, number 24. Here come the Eagles. Coming in on the wing. Elliot L'Italien using that big frame. Knocked down again. The door busts open in the corner. That's where Big B Brent DeBorn is. Super fan. Brent getting a lot of action tonight. The door opening up twice right in front of him.
Well, you got to think maybe Brent's just a little too eager to hand out those high fives. Maybe he's messing with the door down there. I don't know. But twice in the span of only a few minutes. It's not something you see every game, although we've seen it a few times this season. That door, you might need to get a handyman down there. I don't know if producer Brian Fisher is in the building, and I don't know if he's maybe managed with some side doors there. Maybe he can go down and fix that one. I have no idea.
Well, referee LeBlanc was giving it some shoves, so it did hold. It won't open anymore down there behind Rudy Guimont. Moncton up 3-2. We're down to 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Chudzinski powers his way down the wing. Tried to get it. One-timer over the net. Gabe Smith poised to get that shot away. Chudzinski all over the ice. Has the go-ahead goal so far. Veronin in front to Smith. A shot. Hamel flopping down on the post. Makes the save. The net is off. Chudzinski now and La Durante. Sparring a little bit, punches. Linesman in there, Dawson Wood and Jay Dueron. Separating now Romeo and Veronin.
Well, what a game Felix Hamel is having. Marty's drilling in this one now, but he stopped 30 of 33, and just on that last chance there, he stops Gabe Smith twice on cross-ice passes and robbing him of a one-time goal. And this guy has seen a flurry of shots here late in this one. It was a bit of a slow start for him in the first period, but he settled in and had to deal with an absolute barrage, as you could say, of pucks flying towards him, and he's looked sharp in this one.
All right, at the other end of the ice, the net is off, and out comes a technician worker here at the Avenir Center with the drill to reconfigure that hole down there. Interesting stuff. Yeah, this game has really, if you're a reporter and you have to write a story, which we sometimes do, it's three different stories. The first period, 2-1 Cape Breton. Second period, no scoring, all Moncton. And then the third so far, 2 goals by the Cats. Teddy Mutrin, 29th, from Gabe Smith and Caleb Denoyer power play. And Ryan Chudzinski from Max Belen and Gabe Smith. 3-2 Cats, looking for 5 in a row. Keep pace, 1 point by. There's a tremendously high fly ball up through center. No one knows where it is. It lands at the Moncton blue line. Fired off through center. Chudzinski on a roll. Veronin dances in. There's the shot. Low wide on the blocker side. Stop and shoot. Kuzma Veronin with that exceptional speed. Kept in at the blue line by Gabe Smith. Bouncing puck. Veronin's going to show up and wrap it back in behind the Cape Breton net. That line has been impressive. Chudzinski, Gabe Smith, Veronin. Klaus trying to bring it out. Cape Breton barely gets it through center. Jacob Hartland stepping by Fortier-Gendron. Long shot. Guimont easy glove save, and Guimont will hold on, stopping the clock at 2:42. 33-13, the shots officially. This is the 8th and final meeting between the two clubs, and as we pointed out, Hayden and I, it's a 6-1 Moncton advantage. Not by 1 goal, mind you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry, Hayden.
Yeah, no, Marty, the 1 goal thing, like we said, it's 1 goal separates the 2 in this one, and 5 of the 7 matches this season have also been decided by 1 goal. So these are 2 clubs that don't really give up many free space when they go up against each other, and it's also a big factor is Felix Hamel, and he's been absolutely outstanding in this one as well.
There's a timeout being called. Cape Breton, 66 points. They share that total with Quebec. They're both 4 points back of Charlottetown. Again, in each conference, the 8 X's are up. That means the teams that are making the playoffs, only 7 in the West, Rimouski 37, Baie-Comeau 32, Gatineau 45. Gatineau's last in the West, so Rimouski will have to win all the remaining games. I think Gatineau would have to lose them for them to catch les Olympiques. So it could be Rimouski and Baie-Comeau on the outside looking in, if you will, as the playoffs start in a week and a half, 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, and right now it's looking like if the Cats were to stay in second place, I believe they'd go up against Halifax in the first round. So not an easy first round if you're Moncton, going up against a rival there across the way, and that should be an entertaining one if all things line up as they are, as is.
Shawinigan giving Chicoutimi a strong game, 1-0 only. Saguenay, 7:45 to go in the second. At last report, UNB Reds were leading Moncton UDM 3-1 at the Aitken Center, third and final game for the Atlantic Championship. They're both off to St. Mary's next weekend in the University Cup. Empty net, Cape Breton. It's going to roll by the post. Lounsbury tried to jam it in with 2:18 to go. Desnoyers along the boards. Wow, there was an open netter to Teddy Mutrin if they can get the puck to him. Lounsbury worked over by McCullough. Really worked over, and back come the Eagles through center. Playoff style hockey game, folks. Both teams very physical and a lot let go, for a better word. Back to the blue line. Cape Breton will flip it in the corner. Fortier-Gendron in behind the net, centered by the Cape. Moncton, empty net down the other end. It'll be Jettleson at the blue line, not shooting, in behind the net. Wallenius putting good pressure on his man. Jettleson behind the net, centered in front, it's loose, and cleared away by both Guimont and Fortier-Gendron. Fortier-Gendron through center, great skater, empty net, Desnoyers back to Lounsbury again, it's in the net! Preston Lounsbury, again, Desnoyers could put the puck in the net, but why not give it to the open guy? And that's always number 20, Preston Lounsbury. What a breakout by Adam Fortier-Gendron.
Well, it starts there with Teddy Mutrin choosing to take the body along the boards, and it frees up space for Fortier-Gendron to take that puck and work it up ice. He threads the needle, making a pass to Caleb Desnoyers, and it looks a bit of a deja vu play, Marty, like we've seen that almost just last week. Instead of taking the shot of the open cage, he finds Lounsbury to his left, and Lounsbury makes no mistake on that one. He'll roll it in and get the goal, and no one you like more to see get that one rather than Preston Lounsbury.
1:20 to go on the clock. Hamel back in nets. Moncton getting 3 in the third so far. Teddy Mutrin, Ryan Chudzinski, and Preston Lounsbury. 4-2, 4-2. Moncton, 1:11 to go. Over the blue line for the Cape. There's a drive, arm save, Guimont off that high wrist shot. The rebound whistled over the Moncton net. Chopped up on the boards. Out to center, good play by Cornforth to keep that puck in the Cape Breton zone. Eagles down by a pair. They got 53 seconds, or they're going to pull Hamel again. They're leaving him in so far. Long shot. Guimont make an easy glove save off the wing and hold on. They're leaving Hamel in with 45 to go. It's a 4-2 Cats lead. That goal again, Preston Lounsbury from Caleb Desnoyers. No, I believe Hamel going to the bench. Net's empty once again. Let me get back to that scoring summary. Lounsbury from Desnoyers and Adam Fortier-Gendron. Face off to the right of Rudy Guimont. 45 seconds left. Cape Breton net is empty, vacant. Moncton gets the draw. Throwing it around the boards as a rolling puck in the corner. Eagles trying to get something going. They're down by 2. It's shot out to the blue line, but out to center. Teddy Mutrin putting pressure on his man. Shot in by Peitsch. Guimont stops it down behind the net. Guimont does the high flip. He was looking for the open net. It lands at the Cape Breton blue line. I was wondering if he might try that. 18 seconds remaining. Moncton up 4-2. Coming in over the line. Boilard, he's in behind the net. Tied up by the Cats. We're down to 8 seconds. It's centered, and Moncton gets it out to the blue line. The Cats will win game number 46 to temporarily get back on top of the QMJHL. Game over, 4-2. Game over. The Wildcats, resilient, no panic, got their game in order and popped in 3 in the third to take this game 4-2 at the Avenir Center. Wow. Strong game by the Cats in this one. Victory by Moncton. Full marks. We'll be back with the Subaru of Moncton Hardest Worker. 3 game stars, all part of the Subaru of Moncton post-game show on FloHockey TV.